Now the election back and I'll die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production.
I want to say a blessed good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen Mohammed in the building. All a blessed good afternoon. As you come up, I want to encourage you to share the live. I needed to call somebody who knows somebody, let them know this is our next episode of Real Talk. I must wish you a blessed Monday. Today is the 22nd of September. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to send congratulations to the Trinbago Night Riders, we continue to send congratulations to Keyshawn. We send congratulations to our very own in Point Fortin, Jereme Richards, and we continue to say thank you very much to each and every one of our viewers, our supporters. 648 family, all your blessed good day. Today is a good day. Today is a day to talk. Today is a day to talk. So as you come up, I needed to call somebody who knows somebody. Let them know. It's the next episode of Real Talk where we deal with real issues. We connect with real people and try our best as a nation to come up with real solutions. So blessed good afternoon to you today, ladies and gentlemen.
Forget all your differences. Let we start to build. And on want to progress, we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we
007, my senior, blessed good day.
tolerance.
United Kingdom, big up yourself.
To build.
I want to say a blessed good afternoon to our brothers and sisters down in Cedros, Erin, Buenos Aires, and Icacas. Blessed good afternoon to Point Fortin, Lobre, Chinese Village, Dow. Blessed good afternoon to Pinal, Debe, and blessed good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. So whether you're in Golconda, you could be up there. In good old Port of Spain, you could be in San Fernando, Chagonas, Edinburgh 500, Rosilaco, Dow. Blessed good afternoon to you. I must continue to send some love to our brothers and sisters over there in Toronto. Rishi, a senior in the building. Blessed good afternoon to you. I must send out some love to New York. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Every single person that is up on today's live, Jessica Senior in the building, everyone, all a blessed good afternoon again. You know, this is the day that the Lord has made. We must continue to rejoice and be glad in it. You know the conversation here is each one help on a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So Ricky, I Senior in the building. I seen everyone in the building. My brothers and sisters, I needed to call somebody. Call somebody down in Black Rock, down in Lowlands, down in Signal, in Cascara. Call somebody who knows somebody Tobago. Let me go have a talk today because I was out and about this weekend and people watching what going on and some questions is asking. So brothers and sisters, we got to talk a little bit about that because as you know, we boy Foster Cummins tend to be a very active person when it comes to family business. The only thing that Foster Cummins looked like he wasn't active in is actually representing and serving the people of Trinidad and Tobago. But I love how it is he was able to give a long, nice explanation about his family's business and their representation and so forth and so forth. But we go touch a little bit on that. Again, we had to touch a little bit on the Venezuela, United States of America issue. We must touch a little bit on, the cricket. Somebody say curry chicken. All you hear what going on right now, Venezuela, Guyana smoking. To our brothers and sisters over there in Guyana, all your blessed good day, blessed good day. Bless good day. I know let us have all the curry chicken curry bacchanal. All please, let we don't stress out our Guyanese brothers and sisters. At the end of the day, it was a very entertaining game. This is why I continue to make sure and say the two teams played a magnificent part because the entertainment was gorgeous. Again, there must be one winner. So we continue to send love. We continue to send support. We send endorsement to the Trinbago Night Riders. As much as we big up our brothers and sisters in Guyana, at the same time, and ladies and gentlemen, all you know what is going on here. Brothers and sisters, all you know what have to be done. We know who we supporting. So while we at it, we continue to send some love to our Honorable Prime Minister, because again, we have enough sense to know. And before I even get down to this, I just want to make a little mention to the People's National Movement, and I see how it is how let us flex. Right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, you tell me this, Use a government that was in power. Your Minister of Sports had the responsibility to every athlete in Trinidad and Tobago. Because whether the athletes have gold medal or they don't have gold medal, they are a contributing factor to the sporting structure in Trinidad and Tobago. I must say it was rather disturbing to me as a citizen to sit back and listen, especially the PNM supporters, blatantly reproached Keyshawn Walcott. Now, mind me, brothers and sisters, Keyshawn Walcott is a gold medal winner for Trinidad and Tobago. And while the People's National Movement was in office, they made, I wouldn't say drastic contributions to Keyshawn, because Keyshawn stayed on the ground and he continued to do his thing. And it is ironic and drastically disturbing for me as a Trinbagonian citizen to see Keyshawn bring home a goal. And the argument of Trinidad and Tobago, well, not even Trinidad and Tobago, the argument of the PNM supporters in Trinidad and Tobago is that we, the citizens, supposed to give the former Minister of Sports all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory for Keyshawn bringing home a medal. Well, my responsibility is to ask the relevant questions, and this is coming from the young people out of the streets in Point 14. We notice how all luxuriously spoke about Keyshawn Walcott. But what we also notice is that Jereme Richards had to wait until the United National Congress win an election before he received financial support from all you. We noticed that. And I want to thank the United National Congress with the leadership of Ms. Kamala Posad-Bisesa and each and every representing factor that all didn't go in a back and forth debate with the PNM for actually doing something that they were originally supposed to do. Now, mind me, ladies and gentlemen, my responsibility is to keep the conversation relevant. So as much as we listen to PNM open up the door to take the efforts of the sport athletes in Trinidad and Tobago, it is my responsibility to call out the PNM, especially the PNM in Point 14, because if you watch the type of games that all the political organization is playing, apparently they are all concerned about sports right now. No problem, never too late. So I want to ask, please, the Mahaika football ground, could it be opened up in the afternoon so that the Burgesses of Mahaika and Point 14 can actually utilize the football ground? Because that is where the brothers and sisters used to develop their art form. I'm calling out the PNM in Point 14, the Borough Corporation. Why are you continuing to victimize the citizens of Point 14? Ladies and gentlemen, the public pool has been closed since it has been opened. It has been, listen what I'm telling you, the public pool has been closed since it have been open. And I am saying it is rather embarrassing, rather disrespectful, unethical. That is poor representation coming from the Borough Corporation of Point 14. So I want to ask, seeing that PNM is also willy-nilly and all interested and love to reproach sport athletes when they make contribution, one would want to expect the former Minister of Sports to pick up her phone and all you call the CEO, call the mayor, call who all you have to call in Point 14, let them know that the venues that was prepared for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, they are for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They are not PNM trophies and PNM ornaments where you build a structure. Bad enough all you restrict Mahaika from an oval into a football field, and then on top of that to continue victimizing the people. All you put a lock on the gate. And all you on social media pulling videos when my member of parliament bring down the relevant persons to see what needs addressing in Point 14. Ladies and gentlemen, these type of foolish political games that is being played with our sport athletes, I want to hit you a real perspective of what is taking place. If they have a person in the PNM could speak how I'm going to speak and what I'm going to tell you here right now. Based on the data, based on what has been done in Trinidad and Tobago, what I am going to explain to you, it didn't have a person that could debate what I am going to say. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, let us allow the Holy Spirit to take charge of our conversation. Because we have a responsibility to always give God the praise, the honor, and the glory. We're dealing with issues. We're dealing with local issues while we're supporting our government, while we endorse our children, while we encourage and endorse our young people, while we try to remind them that, listen, we have a new government, so there's new opportunities in the horizon. Allow us to deliver the budget. Allow us. Heavenly Father is your son, Irvin. Father, I want to thank you. I want to give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory. Lord, I lift up each and every person, every family, every household representing here today. Father, I want to ask that you cover, you bless, you guide, and you protect. You continue to order their steps. Father, you cover their going outs and their coming ins. Father, I pray that you just continue to guide our 648 Real Talk supporters, cover their businesses. Lord, we pray those on the nation's roadway today, no accidents, no incidents, no near misses. Lord, we even want to lift up our brother Kyle that was in an accident today. Father, I pray that you just bless him. I pray that damages wasn't too much. And I pray that he get redress in the position that he was in this morning. Father, I just want to thank you for allowing our nation's children to be out and about in the education sector. And we say a special prayer for schools that need repair. And Father, I ask that you give our governing authority the relevant support. Father, we pray for peace. Peace that surpasses all understanding throughout Trinidad and Tobago. I pray for every nook and every cranny, every community, every city and every town to be blessed. So, Father, we submit ourselves to you. We say that Jesus Christ is Lord and you are worthy to be praised. Lord, we praise for our Honorable Prime Minister, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Father, we ask that you continue to order her steps. Father, we ask that you cover her entire cabinet, every representing factor. Lord, I say a special prayer for my member of parliament, Mr. Ernesto Kiza today. Father, I ask that you just continue to guide and protect. You encamp your angels around each and every office in our UNC family, each and every office in our Tobago family, each and every office of every single board member, every representing factor that have a responsibility to play a positive and a transparent part in Trinidad and Tobago. So, Father, we ask that you encamp your angels around them. We pray that every decision that is being made continue to be made based on the citizens. Father, we ask that you just bless, you guide, and you protect. You take charge of Trinidad and Tobago. And, Father, this situation with the conversation with Venezuela and the United States of America, Lord, Father God, we put it in your hands and we ask that you just continue to take charge. Your word said, if my people who are called by my name would seek your face and humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, then and only then you would hear from us. So, Father, we're asking that you deliver Trinidad and Tobago from the naysayers. We're asking that the spirit of peace, the spirit of unity, the spirit of love, the spirit of prosperity guide us straight into our Diwali celebration and beyond. Father, we just thank you. We give you all the honor and we give you all the glory. And Lord, I say a special prayer for my lovely family. I lift up my lovely wife and my children that continue to be a pillar. I lift up each and every one of the Real Talk 648 listeners. Father, we lift up our Facebook branch. We lift up our YouTube team. We lift up each and every person and we ask that you cover them, you guide them, you bless them, and you protect them. Father, we pray no harm, no danger, no negative tongue come in our spaces. And Father, any naysayers, I pray that you open their minds and open their hearts, Lord. I pray any negative spirit, you break it and send it back to the pits of hell. So, Lord, we submit ourselves to you. We say Jesus Christ is Lord and you are worthy to be praised. Father, we pray that you install the unction in each and every spiritual representative. You give them the unction to function, to come out on the highways and the byways, in the communities and the tongues and proclaim Jesus Christ is Lord and you are worthy to be praised. So, Father, we lift up every spiritual denomination, whether Muslim, Hindu, Baptist, Jehovah, Witness, and we're talking Ethiopian Orthodox. Father, we're talking every spiritual denomination, 7 Days Adventist. Father, you just continue to have your way. And we submit ourselves to you and we ask that you cover today's proceedings in no other name but Jesus' name. Amen and amen and amen. Ladies and gentlemen, bless good day. Who we have here? Just Cooley in the building. Bless good day. Nice here with us. David, I seen you. 007, bless good day. Anthony, Kamla, bless good day. Miss Pat, how you doing? Big up yourself, sis. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Elizabeth, big up yourself. Anthony Ford, big up yourself. Everyone. Nikki, big up yourself. My sister. Well, let's stay focused. Let's stay blessed. I ain't seen Pearl Sammy. Sammy, could somebody contact Pearl Sammy? Sammy for me. I ain't seen Triple D Roti Shop. We have some people that is missing. Mr. Daniel, bless. Good afternoon. Well, we call somebody who knows somebody. Today, we had to talk. We have to speak. We have to speak. And again, I seen Delfish. Bless good day. Bless good day, everyone who is up. Jessica, bless good afternoon to you. I saying a blessed good afternoon to our Rishi, big up yourself. Ruth, big up yourself. Yolanda, big up yourself. Every single person that is up on today's program, I want to send out some love to my blessed mother and my stepfather this afternoon down there in Georgia. All I know is all the boy Irvin, and all I get this baby a kiss to me. And all let we stay focused and let's stay blessed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to work. Bless good day, bless good day. So here it is. So the conversation today, which is a very important conversation, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a responsibility to mind our business. We have a responsibility to be real and reasonable. Go, Paul, bless, good afternoon. To be real and reasonable while we continue to have relevant conversations. Now, as we sit back and we watch Venezuela claim that they prepare for somebody to invade them when the fight is actually against drugs and narco-terrorism. So unless they are a narco-terrorist government, well, then everything that they are doing probably is valid. But if it is they under the impression that somebody is endorsing somebody to invade Venezuela, nobody is a part of that conversation and we're not endorsing that conversation. The fact that the People's National Movement continue to use that as an excuse for poor representation and continue to leave their brothers and sisters in their relevant communities dormant with lack of support, lack of encouragement, and based on the information coming out of La Hoqueta, ladies and gentlemen, Foster, your name continue to call by Jesus Christ. But either way, brothers and sisters, I just want to touch on something here because I was moving through Point Fortin this week here, and I don't know if it is you are aware of what is going on. And I must say, for the past 28 days, our brothers and sisters that follow us and support us, like and share on our Facebook page, as we continue to encourage you and let you know that, ladies and gentlemen, there is a wide viewership, a wide following. So the past 28 days, we were able to accumulate 400, nearly 500,000 views. And I'm saying, bless good afternoon, and thank you very much for that. That is the Facebook team and our YouTube structure continue to build. So I see yellow is the code. Yellow is the code. Big up yourself. Let me put that on the map one time. Yellow is the code. So ladies and gentlemen, those of you that continue to follow on YouTube and on Facebook, you could just go and look for Irvin Felix. You would see the same icon right here. And brothers and sisters, you would be updated with every single thing that we're dealing with, because originally we spent some years on YouTube. Trust me, our viewership run past millions. So at the end of the day, I want to thank you because that was only done because of you and because of the level of conversation that we tend to have. Sharon, you and see all the way, and it's that. But brothers and sisters, a young fella stopped me and he asked me a question. And this message here, this message is really for my government. Because those of you in Trinidad and Tobago, you especially know what it is we're dealing with. Point Fortin used to be a PNM town. So people in Point Fortin, now mind me, people in Point Fortin, as they convert, or I should say transform into the understanding of what it is the government is really doing and what the government is targeting, they know you hear people coming out and they're starting to ask. Now, before they used to ask it in a kind of attitude, now people genuinely coming out because they genuinely want answers. So this piece I hide here with me, boy, Foster Cummins. To my government, we minister Homeland Security, we minister National Security, to every single person who out here. Based on the information that is surfacing, people asking and they really want to know if Foster Cummins is really going to be arrested, and people want to know why Foster Cummins is not already arrested. Based on the activities that shown, and if the information is correct, if the public data that is correct, well then the people, the young people especially, are saying that they are expecting Foster Cummins for this government to no longer be playing games with Foster Cummins. You see this conversation where Foster Cummins and the HDC, now I think all you could understand, if I tell all I was on the ground, so all you could understand the angle of the persons who were speaking to me. You see, for former Minister of Youth, Mr. Foster Cummins' name and his family name is tied up. I see that. Big up to Mr. Clyde Lab. Labre, big up yourself. Name is being tied up with a particular property with HDC. Now, the heights of the property, apparently it was supposed to be low-income housing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the magnificent piece of structure that Foster Cummins and his family put up there, and I want to say this afternoon, if it is Mr. Foster Cummins is under the impression, or the PNM supporters is under the impression that we honestly fighting down Foster and Foster's family, no, we're not concerned about that. What troubles me with Foster and Foster's family and their representation, and especially receiving contracts from the government, it is drastically shocking to me as a citizen to hear over $100 million in contracts. And on top of that, I have not seriously heard about no drastic public donation or no drastic public contribution coming from that family. So unless that information or that data had been suppressed, we remember the days when he used to be playing Baptist and ringing bell all over Trinidad and Tobago. We also know that he was and is a member of the Open Bible organization. We know a couple of things about Foster Cummins, but what it is, we do not know about him and his family. Whether they collected this contract legally or illegally, no disrespect to the family. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, I am speaking in an angle. It's time for all to put content outside. If you all say all receive over $100 million in government contracts, where are the community support? Where are the persons out and about testifying in the public domain that Foster Cummins was a good one and he did support the football team, he did support the basketballers, he did support, a matter of fact, based on the information that I have collected, there were a football team out and about begging for financial support, especially from Foster Cummins. And Foster's group put out the information that is like that football group don't exist. So I am trying to understand, that is my concern. I ain't tell you what the people and them concerned about. I am trying to understand if it is that family receives so much luxurious contracts, well then, why was it so heavily dependent on the private sector in La Joquita to support the community? Why wasn't it structured in a way where after your family, this is one family, received over $100 million in contracts and obviously did not make back contributions to the community, or else Foster Cummins would have been the member of parliament today? Because the people of La Joquita would have been voting because they're receiving support. Instead, the data coming out of La Joquita is that they have not a community center, but an activity center. An activity center that is installed for the community. And under Foster's governance, the activity center was closed. And the people in the said community are saying, why take $14 million and build a community center and we don't even have access properly to the activity center? Social programs is not being utilized in the center. The private man who want to help develop young people in the community cannot access the community center, the activity center, sorry. And with all of this conversation, one could clearly understand the lack of support that was given from Mr. Cummins' family and his group. So I am drastically shocked to know that this is the amount of contracts that that family accumulated, whether legally or illegally. And all your form of support when it comes to the public with that type of resources, only left all the strain up to living waters, only left all the strain up to non-profit organizations and groups like myself and others, while only accumulate all that resources. And on top of that, within the period of the COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen, it's not me who say the information, the content is out there. A piece of land that was allocated for low affordable housing. For some strange reason, our millionaire MP, our millionaire youth minister and their millionaire families accumulate a piece of land that was designed, prepared, and ready for low affordable housing. Is it that Mr. Cummins, with all the millions that his family accumulate over the years, is it that you all are broke today? Is it that you all don't have resources to buy a piece of land to encourage young people, that we're not really endorsing squatting? My name is Felix. I live on squatting land. My responsibility is to encourage my children to go to school, get their education, whether they divert into business or whether they're going and work for somebody or some corporation. I have to encourage them to buy a piece of land and build a structure. This is what it is we are installing in our families. And what I am seeing here is that the Cummins family had the opportunity, public display, and did not bring no services. And the People's National Movement have the audacity, listen to me, the audacity to be out in the public and questioning people. Mr. Cummins, the young people of Point 14, to the UNC government, the young people of Point 14, a couple of them who actually hooked up in HDC houses. Listen what I'm telling you. In HDC houses, where you, Mr. Cummins, while was in government, you came down to Point 14 and you lined with the former mayor. You was hanging out with the former mayor and you organized HGC because you're connected to HGC. So apparently, while COVID-19 and everybody under strain and suffering, all it was busy borrowing millions of dollars. Sorry, hundreds of millions of dollars on the backs of Trinbago citizens. And when we asking where the money is spent, it's only to hear now that low affordable housing land Foster Cummins and his team was able to purchase for 100,000. Who is the persons authorized these things? These things are blatant corruption in the eyes and in the public domain of Trinidad and Tobago. To my UNC government, the people in Point 14 that was left to live in raw sewage every time rainfall, they totally displeased about that. The people who was left to navigate with poor drainage in Point 14 under the stewardship of HDC and PNM, those persons are drastically displeased to sit back and listen that Foster Cummins, the youth minister, zigzag around the HDC corporation while all these cries was in the public domain. And instead of helping the people, instead of encouraging those who had the responsibility, instead of encouraging the former member of parliament to pay interest, Foster Cummins seek his own interests. Foster, the people on the streets is calling for you to be arrested. The people of Trinidad and Tobago now understand the level of wickedness, the level of vindictive behavior that the People's National Movement displayed while in office. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I need to hear from all you this morning, this afternoon. Even the relevant authority have looked into Cummins and his family's business, and all contracts are awarded just before 20 April. What? Well, all right then. The contracting, that alone is the next thing. But I am 100% sure, based on the structure that is coming out from the HDC conversation, the people is under the impression that that is enough information to pull in somebody. Somebody needs to be arrested. You cannot organize your business, organize proper drainage around your property, rob the people of Trinidad and Tobago low affordable property space, and then live luxurious off of the backs of the people. Ladies and gentlemen, the number to call is 324-0844. That's the WhatsApp number. The hardline number is 3936011. I want to hear from all of this afternoon early before we get down into some other things. I need to hear from all of you, because at the end of the day, it cannot be me alone. It cannot be me alone First, my mind does run. Let me tell you something. Foster Cummins and the PNM entourage, these bunch of jokers, let me explain something to all you. The first ball the bowl, they tell you Sturge is a wicked and he corrupt, he upside down here in business. Miss Kamala is the worst decision she make. And listen the argument for that. The argument for that is because Mr. Sturge was sit down in an office speaking to a criminal. And when you do relevant research, you don't even have to go too deep to find out what's going on. Find out what was Sturge or what is Mr. Sturge's profession. And if somebody tell you that Mr. Sturge is a criminal defense lawyer, well, then one would want to expect that anybody who under any form of structure where the name getting called up and breaking the law, criminal activities, you will look for somebody like Mr. Sturge. Let's good afternoon, caller.
Brother, good morning.
Brother, morning time. How you doing?
Yeah, now you hear me clearly, right?
Loud and clear.
Nice. So let me start with Penny now. Penny wants Shamfa Kojo to take credit for Kishon Walcott's success.
Kishon Walcott, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think she was in a coma, you know. And I got to tell you why I'm saying that, right?
Yeah.
Because that was false. No, I want to set the record straight. It was Anil Roberts back then, 2010 to 2015, sports minister.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Who got 2 special javelins for Kishon when he went to the Olympics in 2012.
Yeah.
Right. And he got the gold medal, right?
Yes.
Right. And, well, let me explain this to you now. At that time, Anil Roberts had an 80% elite at this program.
Yeah.
Right? For high-profile athletes.
Yeah.
Right. So, when PNM get into power, 2015, she cut that down to 20%.
Yes.
You hear what I say?
Yes.
20%.
Yes.
So like Penny was in a coma. If you cut in something that was there, and then look what happened now. We sent 4 athletes to the World Championship.
Yes.
You know what was the standing at the end of the table?
Doctor,
we were in 14th position. Jamaica was in 10th. Right?
Yeah.
4 athletes. That's a shame. That's a shame. And look how well we did.
Yes.
1 gold, 1 silver. We were ahead of big countries like Australia.
Yeah.
And other countries.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We were ahead of them out of 53 countries on the table. We were 14th on the table. She forget they shut down the Southern Games, the other games down by your side on there.
Carifesta games and all these. Oh, right. Right, Palo games and all them things, yes.
The solo games and all of that. They
Yes.
shut it down. So you to be the best. Remember I told you the other day, to be the best, you have to compete against the best.
You must compete against the best.
Right. So they were underfunded. So the PNM then didn't really care about sports.
No.
But let me ask you a question.
Doctor,
Under the last regime, name 1 ministry under Rowley government. The last 10 years, that was outstanding. None of them work.
None.
Social services, you have to do a means test, not so?
Yeah.
Yes. To qualify, 4 people have to do a means test. The cerebral palsy. You know, people who have those kind of children, they see real trouble.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It was funded by the previous regime under Kamala. They came in and took it away and stopped funding it.
Yes. That is
so
true.
all of a sudden they care about sports and poor people. Man, give me a break. I know other people want to call, I might call back because I want to get back.
I want you to tell me about Foster Cummins' conversation. When you heard about that, how you felt?
Yes, well, not only Foster Cummins, you know. It's not only Foster Cummins. It is Manning and the former finance minister with Clico.
Oh, God.
So it's Bacchanal after Bacchanal.
Bacchanal. But
And and I'm asking you this question now, where's the Integrity Commission?
Where were they?
And the yeah?
Yes.
Tell me now.
Good question.
Where are they? And integrity in public life for these guys. What happened to that?
All that strain end up on the Attorney General and the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right. And where is the police now? Because if you and I commit such heinous acts,
yes,
police come to investigate us.
One time.
Because remember, the treasury money is the public purse.
Yes.
Not PNM money or UNC money. That's the public purse, my friend.
Thank you.
Nice. Later.
Yes, man. Thank you much.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, you hear it from the caller himself. So I ask you all today, based on what it is we're really dealing with this conversation from Foster Comments here. How do you really feel about that after you listen to millions and millions and millions of dollars, especially under the PNM administration? They boast about the amount of money they spend in HDC. And if you go Lakeview, they don't even have a drainage plan. You go Lakeview, raw sewage in the dam. You head to Hubertstown. The sewer structure, the sewer system ain't even working, so I don't even know how they're making out up there. I honestly don't know how they're making out in Hubertstown. And come on, brothers and sisters, these people had a responsibility to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and it seems to me like they luxuriously fill their own pockets. And it is rather concerning that we, the citizens, are left to pick up the pieces with this new government. That is so bad. I want to hit all a piece of content here from the lion himself.
Every institution that they have interfaced with, they have destroyed. And today we are seeing the result of that. I just want to remind you that during the period 2010-2015.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to run this piece of content from you. This is from the lion himself. This is from Mr. Munilal. Oh gosh. You know, well, when they hear these voices, they start to shake, because at the end of the day, you don't practice dotishness. Because what they did, they come out guns blazing and call out the UNC and say the UNC corrupt. When the people in the UNC say, but how come we corrupt? Is we who install the procurement legislation, and it's all you who rip it apart. They're still out and about playing games, talking about corruption, talking about things, and we asking question over $144 billion borrowed on the backs of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. They didn't help the schools. They didn't help the bus drivers. They didn't uplift parks, community centers, deliver adequate lighting, adequate sidewalks. Ladies and gentlemen, it's poor road, it's poor drainage, it's poor structure when it comes to the education. So where did the people of Trinidad and Tobago money spent? Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the lion, Mr. Munilal, this afternoon.
When we had the lowest rate of serious crimes registered in 35 years, Dr. Rowley and others attacked the partnership government because we had an acting commissioner in place, in one Mr. Williams. We live to see the day when, under this administration, indeed there was no commissioner in place, no substantive commissioner. And that led to a lot of gymnastics by the Minister of Finance to allow for the payment for resources and goods and service in the TTPS. Today, we have the scenario of the first sitting commissioner of police, I believe, in almost 50 years to be under arrest. This is a tragedy. It is disturbing. But as Mrs. Prasad Bisesa rightly pointed out yesterday, it is not surprising given what we have been seeing in the public space and some of the information that has come to us. Mrs. Prasad Bisesa on January 6th.
Let me know bypass that would take place there. The People's National Movement like to boast that there's an African party. They stand for African leadership. When we over here explain to you that yellow is the code, or let's say Indian people go make we eat roti off the ground, or let's say we talking and singing for we supper, when all the factual content before our eyes, I have to be drastically irresponsible, hate African people, hate my family, hate my girl children, and hate all my aunts to stand with the PNM government. Look at what it is the PNM government did to Miss Erla. Look at what they did to the former commissioner of police. Arrest that lady because they and our next brother man was playing penis measurement competition. The prime minister, though, Gary Griffith, get more views than he. And because of that, certain elements realized that games could have played and give this lady a paper documentation to sign. On behalf of who? What was the hidden agenda behind this rifle? The hidden agenda behind those artilleries? Who were they supposed to target? Who was responsible for these type of activities taking place? Which government was in power? Or you take this African sister, arrest the woman and disrespect the woman's entire legacy and her contribution. This is what the PNM government did to African sister and out and about in the public domain. Or let me support my UNC. Let me support my UNC. Are you good with that? Are comfortable being out of jail?
At a recent Monday night report, spoke of this issue of investigations by the TTPS into the procurement and approvals for firearms, weapons, ammunitions, etc. It is noteworthy that we believe that it is the forensic staff that flagged guns that were carried for testing as being prohibited weapons and therefore not in a position to be granted approval by any commissioner of police. The prohibited weapons category carries certain names and title, designation, and so on, and the forensic department had flagged those weapons. The investigation, we believe, involving the commissioner of police is one that has been going on for some time. It is not recent. Whether it's 10 months, 12 months or so, it is not a recent development.
You see what somebody say? Erla contributed to a lot of crime. Erection in Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of the crime was destruction in Trinidad and Tobago. Lovely. There we go.
Yet, with this matter, Dr. Rowley, who often beat his chest as chairman of the National Security Council and in touch and in charge, they would have had a commissioner of police before the National Security Council, a director of the Strategic Services Agency before the National Security Council, a chief of defense staff before the National Security Council, every single week for years. And not once that National Security Council or its members, including Colm Imbert, Marvin Gonzalez, Stuart Young, Fitzgerald Hines, recently Keith Scotland, not once they interrogated that law enforcement leadership on the procurement of weapons. Not once they interrogated the law enforcement leaders on investigations, not to know details, but whether or not a sitting commissioner is the subject of a criminal investigation. And went on, the opposition UNC raised a matter when Mrs. Erla Christopher was being appointed in Parliament. And let's face it, the entire hierarchy of the police service has been appointed effectively by the PNM. They came to Parliament and knocked down the names of officers who were in a certain order, in a merit list, so to speak. They knocked down those lists and arrived at Erla Christopher. We raised concern that they were appointing someone who was going to retire in 3 months. They went ahead. They did not tell the population or the parliament that they had an intention to use another piece of law to extend that term as a police officer. So they appointed someone with 3 months left as a police officer in the service. Thereafter, they continued to do extensions, and I believe 2 extensions. That matter reached as far as the Privy Council. Mr. Ram Logan and others had raised that matter. The Prime Minister, Keith Rowley, Stuart Young, and others went to the Privy Council to defend the tenure of the sitting Commissioner of Police. so that she may have that extension. So this is their role. This is their job. I'm making this point to the media to know that this is not just a police matter. This is a political matter involving the Prime Minister, the National Security Council. They appointed the 3 deputy commissioners of police. They appoint the executive through the parliament process with their majority. In that debate, I participated and pointed out that Mrs. Erla Christopher was about to retire. They said nothing. They just vote yes, all of them. They extended twice, went to the Privy Council to defend that appointment. And today, look where we are today. This is their doing. So
basically what you understanding here now, based on the data that has been compiled, you get to understand, I could only break it down as real as I could break it down, that the African Party in Trinidad and Tobago, which is the PNM, hired an African woman who was about to retire, could allow the woman to make she 3 months and go home. Hired this African woman to be a yes woman. And on top of that, she started off with cheating. And then if you could remember carefully, she started speaking up. Ladies and gentlemen, they went to the Privy Council to fight the opposition to make sure that this lady had to have she position. But to Ms. Erla, to the PNM, I just want to say that everybody know when you lie down and you play with dogs, you just be bitten by fleas. Everybody have enough sense to know that. So there was no way that that could have turned out good, no way that that could have turned out justifiable. It just continued to show. And I hope that the eyes of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, especially the African population, understand the depths that the PNM organization being led by particular persons. Because we know Penny is not a leader. Miss Penny is not a leader, sorry. But I'll be going man to me. We know Miss Penny is not a leader. So based on the poor representation that is coming from the People's National Movement, whether in government or opposition, the people of Trinidad and Tobago have a conscious decision, a conscious responsibility, I should say, to continue remembering that the People's National Movement have no reason to be in the corridors of running this government again. Matter of fact, it is expected by the next general election, the PNM don't even make it to opposition. Because this is too much of corrupt activities. I mean, listen to the minister talk about the NRHA. Hundreds of millions of dollars unaccounted for. Contracts where people cannot even identify the persons who was working, and the People's National Movement paid those persons luxuriously for the past 9 years and 8 months. It's not me saying it, ladies and gentlemen. Not me saying it. This is the basic factual content that is coming out when these things are investigated. It don't have one state organization that is in order. It's from Angostura straight back to agriculture, to healthcare, to, ladies and gentlemen, to construction. And while we continue to speak and we continue to dialogue, let me bring peace up, my brother.
we are not surprised.
I must bring a piece of my brother for all you, because we out and we about to, they are saying blessed good afternoon. You know, when they hear the voice, they just hate it. They just hate it when they hear the voice. But the truth must be spoken. We must continue to stand by the truth. And this blessed Monday, the 22nd of September, I would be irresponsible based on the activities that is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago. If I don't run a piece of Mr. Andy Roberts here this morning, we must give you a piece of the Douglas politics this morning.
Buenos días de República Dominicana. Marvin Gonzalez, you asking for probe? Well, let me don't laugh too much. You know you like probe. What you was doing when your wife get here, you was probing. You asking for probe into the Minister Alexander about some man who says some allegation based on nothing before he was ever even entering politics and so on, some old talk. But Marvin, what about the probe into a minister who tried to get an investigator to change a report because a man, the wrong man, was driving a van, and a certain minister made sure that senior managers tried to put pressure upon an investigator to change his report, misbehavior in public office. What about that? Where you don't want a probe, where the probe reach into that? Why we don't ask the DPP and the police about that one? You studying probe, study how Ecliffe Eli get a bus route pass. Was that due to probe? You seem to like probe. Cool yourself, and Marvin Gonzalez. Stay in your lane, sit down and hush, and wait for all the probe that come in with PNM first.
You meet the man outside.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we run past this, our brother Annie Roberts touched on a serious topic there, just in case you didn't know. Ayo, bless, good afternoon. Sue, bless, good afternoon. Monica, Senior, Elizabeth, Jess, Cool, Anthony, everyone who up. Bless, good afternoon to you. But our brother, the Douglas politics, Mr. Annie Roberts touched on something that we cannot side pass. Now, while Trinidad and Tobago, Elizabeth, I see that, I'll put that on the screen. While Trinidad and Tobago was suffering for water, Point 14 suffering for water, Caroni, Port of Spain suffering for water, Shogunas, Sapari suffering for water, Moruga all over the country suffering. Now mind me, ladies and gentlemen, Trinidad and Tobago is an island. We are islands surrounded by water. And under the PNM government, no matter what year you count, Trinidad and Tobago, like their structure, I don't know if it is written in the manifesto that once PNM is in power, Trinidadians must suffer for water. While Trinbagonians was suffering for water, under the stewardship of the PNM, utility structure, meaning Tiantec and Wassa, being run and governed by Marvin Gonzalez. Marvin Gonzalez couldn't get the water supply in Trinidad. Matter of fact, under Marvin Gonzalez stewardship, the water production in Trinidad and Tobago dropped to 17%. I dare one of them tell me a lie. Marvin Gonzalez was successful of dropping home delivery of water, pipe-borne water to people's houses. Marvin Gonzalez, as far as I know, is the only minister with the responsibility for utilities and drop the production to 17%. Today, Marvin calling for a probe. Marvin want a probe into Mr. Alexander reaching out or either going and have meeting with a criminal or criminals in jail. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to encourage you, do not be diverted on the PNM corruption that is before your eyes. If Mr. Alexander went in the prison system to meet a prisoner before he give up everything, or while he was on the journey to become a minister, let me explain something to you. This is basic common sense. Mr. Alexander was a long-running standing officer. Now, mind me, a long-running standing officer with the reputation, I should say, and on top of that, with the rank that Mr. Alexander stepped aside from the police service from. Obviously, you will have informers. That is basic common sense. That is basic common sense. Me saying who he went and see was an informer, but I am saying that those who are tied up, especially in criminal activities and trying to cut deal and want to come out of jail because they now start to see the light, you would reach out to somebody like Mr. Alexander. You would. So don't sit down to explain to me, bring data, bring evidence that you tape what Mr. Alexander and the criminal was talking. Marvin Gonzalez and them cannot do that. You know what? Every time they get an opportunity, is selfishness, is greediness, is wickedness they practice. Just like how Foster Cummins being the Minister of Youth and decide that he's the Minister of HDC, left the poor people dormant. Thousands of people on the HDC list looking for houses. Foster Cummins, who is publicly a millionaire. You're a public millionaire. You could buy a piece of land anywhere in the country, but yet still you choose to attack the low affordable housing community. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? This is to show you guys exactly what is taking place. While all this water production was low, people thirsty, people in Cedros had to keep the AC plugged on to catch water to wash the children's school clothes. Yes, all of that took place under the former representation of Point 14 here. All of that took place. That is factual data. While all of that was going on, Marvin Gonzalez found it fit to attack a WASA employee. A WASA employee who he had personal feelings with. Water production is at 17%. Listen, only 17% of the population was receiving water. And Marvin Gonzalez came off of that mission after his government went to other governments and organizations and borrowed money so that that money could be invested under Marvin Gonzalez stewardship. Marvin Gonzalez left all that responsibility and started fighting a WASA employee for driving a van that he was authorized to drive. Because Marvin personal in his feelings, some personal back and forth with him and the person. And Marvin Gonzalez started fighting to make this employee lawsuit work. This is the wickedness that PNM does do their own people. This is what they do. Water production is at 17%. You is the minister, and you have all the data of the amount of millions of dollars that was borrowed. And you didn't stay focused on your job. Today you want to call for probe. Well, we calling for probe into that case. The person you call to change the report, we calling for audit and them information. Them is things we calling audit for. Ladies and gentlemen, I see any building. Rishi, bless good day. They say, Irvin, for me, I've seen that. Thank you very much for the love, the support, and the encouragement. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a responsibility to stay focused. We must stay blessed. Before I go forward, I want to send out a little condolences. Before I go forward here. Before I go forward here, let us know. Oh gosh. I say I'm looking for the article with the gentleman who died from the radio. Yeah. Sterling Henderson, yes. 90, what is that? I-95.5 Sterling Henderson has died. He was found unresponsive at his home in Aruka Saturday morning. So I want to send some condolences to the Henderson family and to each and every person who lose family and loved ones along the way. Mr. Henderson was actually a member of the I-95 team. And well, a lot of people meet me and ask me, Felix, I didn't see a pop nothing for Mr. Henderson. So I tell them I go reach out. I didn't know him personally. But again, I send condolences to all Mr. Henderson family and his friends and every person connected to him. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this piece of conversation. And this is just to show you now, we just watch the People's National Movement talk. The United National Congress put out the information publicly because this thing is about Trinidad and Tobago. This thing is about moving forward as one people, as one body. Budget consultation was going on. Point 14 here, we had a couple. Cedros had, Point 14 had youth consultation. We had business consultation. Then the people and all had their consultation where everybody had the opportunity to give their part and make their contribution. People's National Movement, they keep their consultation. Apparently, they plan to fight crime on their own, which is obviously a poor idea. So I don't understand how the people who actually in these PNM districts allow the PNM to explain to all that they're doing a budget consultation, bring the big boys and them with all the nice curtains. You don't need all of that for budget consultation. What it is you need is the community and the community speaking up. And to my brother from Point 14, I listened to the contribution about you and Miss Rosie. I don't know if all gets that budget consultation, but the person who stand up and spoke about Miss Rosie, that my family, cousin, stop do yourself that. At the ending up of the day, the stand your ground law is for the safety of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. If your government that you supporting had done a proper job by continuing to develop community centers, utilizing the social programs, and strengthening the social fabric of Trinidad and Tobago, one would want to say that, well, all right then, well, probably we have other things to divert to. But when the young people is telling you that there is no support, no endorsement, when you have people who actually signing up for programs, things like NESC, under the PNM, they're boasting about NESC up and functioning and how much money they spend on the building. But when you go in a welding class, 27 students, 8 welding plan. This is representation under the PNM, and this what we're saying is poor representation. So what it is, we want to encourage those of you who is in the PNM with all your budget concentration and all of these things, all they actually start to represent the people, please. Please. Because as much as all the big talk coming out from Diego Martin and all the Diego Martin representative, it is rather concerning the type of information that is taking place. Ladies and gentlemen, 8 persons were robbed at gunpoint during a food event. Listen, not even a gangster event, not even a block party, not even a food. 8 persons were robbed at gunpoint during a food event at Diego Martin Community Center. 8 people, including 2 food establishment workers, a police officer, and several relatives were robbed at gunpoint, where bandits stormed the Diego Martin Central Community Center shortly after midday on Saturday. The incident occurred after. I good with that day. I am good with that day. While it is the PNM sit down and pretend that we don't have a problem, we all know this same fight against narco-terrorism that my prime minister take a stand, also connected to the guns on the streets. If we didn't have guns on the streets, them fellas and them would have come to rob by the community center with a slinging shot or some kind of thing. But when it is we keep putting our people in position, now mind me, citizens getting robbed. Bad enough, I have to read to people globally that police officers who is a part of community service is being robbed. And Hans Devine and the PNM with Ms. Penelope Beckles speaking in Trinidad and Tobago like the PNM communities is all well and good. Why are you doing this? Don't you care about the people of your electoral district? We have a serious problem. You guys continuing to speak against the Honorable Prime Minister, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, when she says she stands with the United States of America. Everybody have enough sense to know that Trinidad and Tobago was being utilized as a drug hub. Is it that the People's National Movement and its supporters is arguing that Trinidad and Tobago continue to be used as a drug hub? Because when the drug leave our island, the guns stay. This is why we have so many illegal guns on the nation's roadway. It have already been clearly tested and the evidence is out there. Bring back NESC in point 14. Hold all your hand and sat down and listen to Minister speak. Minister Kiza spoke over the weekend. That is the question. Listen to the question of the day. How many CPEP workers, how many European CPEP workers were they hired? That was out of bound for them. And this is what they like. They like to put people on pedestal, the people who have to represent them. So the fact that the UNC, the coalition of interests, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar and her government continue to be on the ground. And the Venezuelan bringing the guns. That's why I'm saying these things come in with the drugs. They are coming with the drugs, sister. And we totally fed up. We are totally displeased by it. So as much as we sit down on a daily basis and we speak about the activities that is taking place in the Caribbean waters, we have to continue to thank the United States of America. We ain't thanking them for blowing up no boats. But the fact that they pull over, people quarrel about blowing up at the boats. All right. The American government pull over one boat. You know how much they get? Over 5,000 kilos of cocaine. And what we say in the country that it normally be destined to is the United States of America, whether it's in Mexico, it's in Colombia, it's in Venezuela, anywhere in the world, whether it be opium, whether it be speed, it be acid, direct cocaine, whatever it is, it's destined for the United States of America, and the American government have a responsibility to its people. So while these type of activities is taking place throughout our country, look, just last week Friday or Saturday, 1 out of the 2 days, the police blatantly catch a young fella in Point Fortin, ladies and gentlemen. Me see the gun. But when I heard about the type of gun this young man have, and he lean up by the park lineman. You lean up by the park lineman. We don't even have that level of violent activities in Point Fortin. You lean up by the park lineman with a gun in your waist. This is the activities that we seeing. Why that young fella will come out by the park? Who you beefing with? Who you warring with? We already have police officers and security officers on a daily basis with enough guns. We army, so we soldiers and them have enough guns. With business. And you know what's sad with this? These young fellas and them standing up on the corner with gun in their waist. The same gun they're using to go and rob the businessman. And you know, business people in this country, especially under the PNM, were being denied the firearm license. Business people who already was robbed 3 and 4 times. We're talking about the entire family living in fear while they still ply their trade because they know the services is needed. And the former administration was denying them firearm license. I want to encourage my government and Minister Sturge and Mr. Alexander and my Commissioner of Police, all of the firearm users license structure, allow it to flow in Trinidad and Tobago. Too much houses, too much families were destroyed, too much businesses were ripped apart because of poor decisions that was made. When you talk about if they come in your place, shoot them down. PNM supporters saying when they go kill all our children, how disrespectful and foolish all you could be. So they're publicly telling the world that all the children is bandits, while we telling the world that all the children don't have the right opportunity. They were not given the relevant support to turn in the next direction. And we cannot force somebody to do something that they don't know. The PNM grow them up in poverty. Grow them up in poverty. And when Ms. Kamala Prasad says under the first term, show when a prime minister win an election and make a covenant with its people. Drive through Saparia and Penal. Drive through. They turn Trinidad and Tobago against her. They say they spend all the money in Indian people areas. And when you go and you talk to some of these people, some of them barely know Ms. Kamala personally. It's people who given the opportunity to become contractors and utilize the equipment and make money. People who had small businesses and made investment because they saw the development, they saw the enhancement taking place. And they turned the average citizen against the prime minister because Penal, Saparia, and Debe had ambition. And when you ask publicly in Trinidad and Tobago, point out the successful or the well-built or the well-uplifted African communities, it's scatter. Bless good afternoon, caller. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Yeah, Owen. I call him back again.
Doctor,
I was trying to give way to other. I was trying to give way to other people.
Yeah, man.
But something bothered me here. Something bothered me here.
Doctor,
now you spoke about Mr. Alexander, right? About PNM issue that he seen what criminals.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Wasn't the same thing that was set up with Sturge?
Same
and
thing.
He's a criminal lawyer, right?
Mr. Sturge is a criminal defense lawyer, and Mr. Alexander is a former sergeant.
No, he was superintendent.
Well, superintendent. Well, yeah, because he did rank. Yes, he did move up in rank. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the same propagandist.
Same thing. Same thing.
Yes.
We're taking these people professional career and trying to use it against them because they are in political office today.
Yeah, because they hate to see a black man in the UNC.
That is it.
They're attacking the black people.
Yeah.
The black Africans and them, yeah. Well, let me ask you this one.
Doctor, man.
Wasn't the PNM in power for 9 years or 8 months, right?
Yes, there was.
Wasn't $600 billion spent on budgets?
Thank you. Thank you.
And wasn't $144 billion borrowed
Yes.
by that regime?
Yes.
And then the COVID, they get big money.
Yeah, they borrowed 13 billion by so and 13 billion by. Remember when they said they borrowed 13 billion to feed people in this country?
Yeah, but added to that, I'm telling you that they got money from WHO for COVID.
Yes.
Billions of dollars.
Yes.
So where all this money gone? Where all this money gone and nothing worked?
Hmm.
And we're talking about Ministry of Health,
Yeah.
Ministry of Social Welfare,
Yeah.
because you have to do means test according to Shampa.
Yeah.
Is Shampa?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
You have to, huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. So where all this money going? And then now you asking this present government to fix it. So where all the money? The problem, you all created that problem.
Thank you.
So you all were supposed to fix it. How somebody to fix it for you?
Hmm.
People gonna get water in the tap. Now we have a government working, right?
Yeah.
Because they have to go and they don't have the money because money run out. Remember, $60 billion
Yeah.
finished by April. $60 billion for
Was
the last
spent.
for the yes,
Was
and it's
spent.
finished by April 28th. So
Yeah.
where that money gone? People can't get water in the taps.
No.
Now I see Moruga people getting water, Point Fountain people getting water, all over getting water. Hmm? And they're not working with a budget.
They're not working with our budget yet.
And our budget is supposed to be read next month.
Thank you.
When we will see all the various activities that will take place.
Thank you. Thank you.
But what I think is that this opposition wants the present government to fail.
That's the plan.
Well, yes, they want them to fail. But this government will show them how to run a government.
You know what I think?
Because
You know what I think? I think
yeah,
I don't even think that they really want them to fail. I think this opposition more focus on the fact that the African population will be pulled away from them. So they just continue to try everything because this government is showing respect to African people, utilizing them in the position that they are capable in. That is where we have Attorney General, Mr. Alexander, Mr. Sturge. If you understand what I'm saying, they're utilizing African people. And that is something that the PNM don't do.
Yeah, but remember, I give you a listing of all the African people that are in the government.
Yeah.
And I don't see, when people calling about the Indian thing, I don't see that there.
We're not seeing it. We're not seeing it.
But you hear what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
In fact, the African people outnumber the Indian people in government.
I find so.
Not I find, I saw so.
You see? You see?
I just, yeah.
Because we have some good mix. We have some good mixed people too. Eh?
Yeah, well, all I have to cover that.
And it's that. And what I like with it.
And it's that.
What I like with it, that UNC mix up like a pilau, and they're working together. And they're working together.
But you see, the problem is that, you know what I think the problem is?
Mm-hmm.
The grassroots people and them don't know what $1 million is or $1 billion.
That is it.
That is the problem.
That is it.
So when money is spent, because all they just want is a hamper.
Yeah.
You need a hamper country, you know.
That is it.
One collect your hamper. But they don't understand what the kind of money that disappearing from the treasury. The PNM government hemorrhage the treasury for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Hemorrhage. And nothing to show. There's nothing to show. You know when you said something there. I think when Roberts and Alexander were down in the area, and you were talking about sewage water coming down in the dam.
Yeah, that's facts.
I mean that can't be real.
That is real, real.
That can't be real.
That is real, brother. Let me tell you something. The thing's so bad.
The
thing's so bad that our member of parliament, Minister Kiza, brought down Mr. Arnold Roberts and Philip to see it for themselves. Because nobody would think that you would be so crazy to be in government and allow raw sewage. Partner, let me tell you something. I was right there on spot when HDC was pulling out herself. because they and all was disgusted by that. And that was allowed under the former administration, under the former member of parliament, with all the mayors, the council unit, and all of them aware of that.
Yeah, but Felix, they are compromising the health issues of the people down there.
Partners, that's not even the bad part. Let me hit you the bad part. Right where the sewer water dumping, right where the sewage dumping. They have a whole sucking water heading back to Wasata Reef. You understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
It's madness what's going on. They were trying to kill the people.
All right, so let me take you back. You know, we saw Retro Thursday on 105 FM, right?
Yeah.
Well, like, you know, retro thing that happened. Retro. Remember the people in Beatam used to be smelling or getting
yes.
sewage water for 7 months?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Under pressure?
Yeah,
7 months?
Yeah.
All right. And when election run, when election bell rang, they're going back and vote the same PNM, right?
Same PNM.
These people are them as suckers for punishment. But this is what I'm telling you. That when you have the grassroots don't understand the kind of money that leave in the treasury.
Yeah.
And spent. Right? Over $600 billion. You know what is that? You know what is that? And then this joker who was the prime minister before giving Venezuela, well, you have to find out the correct sum. 1 million US for gas that you never receive yet.
Thank you.
The dragon gas, I don't know if it's $1 million a month.
Up to
or is it $1 million a year?
We're still trying to figure out how that million. That is a good topic you touch on there because we're still trying to figure out
and it's 20,
how that million was running.
2018. And Felix, it's 2018 to now.
Yeah.
That's 7 years now that's happening. That is why Maduro is pissed. Because he can't get that $1 million again.
Yeah. That is why they went up in their feelings to try to threaten Trinidad and Tobago and set a bad man thing they're talking.
Well, yeah, the money is not there anymore. But you see, the grassroots, them don't understand that.
Yeah.
The same people going back can vote for them. Because I trying to figure out how the hell these people get 13 seats in parliament, boy. With the performance that they put on for the last 9 years and 8 months. They don't, in my view, they don't deserve a seat. Because nobody votes for punishment.
Thank you.
Property tax. Remember this, property tax. And the government, last regime was owing NGC $4 billion.
Yeah.
They tell you that you have to pay because the TNT bill is not an issue then, but you will have to pay it. So that means they were going to raise the electrical bills. When they get more water, they were going to raise the water bills, add it to property tax, and you get the same salary. So I know how people that survive.
Yeah.
And then you come in now and laughing and say, hope your children become a lawyer. You have the inheritance tax, that is the property tax.
Yeah.
If you can't pay, your children go pay.
And
these people, them are jokers, they don't feel it.
And didn't give it
the
conversation. That was one of the biggest setup.
Yeah, they set me up. And added to that, let me tell you something. You see that property tax that they implemented and people were paying. They didn't get the threshold, which is 50%, you know. The threshold, 50%, which is 200,000 people. They didn't get that.
Yes.
They were trying to establish and get that while you're paying. So the commandant did say that, you know.
Thank you.
They're hoping to get the threshold.
Yes.
Right? But people have to wake up and understand. Just don't rush and do things and regret after. Later.
Thank you much, caller. And caller, you're on point. Caller, thanking you for that contribution. The caller on point. And this just shows that people in Trinidad and Tobago is aware of what is going on. And those foolish games cannot continue to be played. To my brothers and sisters, as we navigate towards the Diwali season, Diwali, the festival of light. Brothers and sisters, I pray the spirit of unity fluctuate through Trinidad and Tobago, because you know we always have some wide mouth coming out and talking a pack of foolishness. Can't bring no conversation about upliftment. When you ask them when last they made a donation to somebody, they can't answer you. Today now they're sitting back and they want to know all what and when and how the UNC doing it. And how the UNC getting money? How the UNC delivering this? How the UNC delivering that? While we asking, all your government was in power. We're talking 144 billion by this. We're talking how much million, 2.6 billion, a whole set of money. And no matter which direction you look, ladies and gentlemen, it's madness. Let me see this. You saw the article with the community center in Wallafield, PNM didn't open. Community center, the UNC built. This is what it is they did throughout every single thing. That community center, I consider that a small thing. That is a chip of the iceberg. UNC built a whole university. UNC gave UWI the opportunity to expand so that brothers and sisters in South, in St. Patrick, in Princestown, Cedros, Debe, Point Fortin, Labre, people all in Golconda, all over the place who had children and trying to educate the children. The UNC government built a whole campus down there, and the PNM opened it. That community center is a small thing, and that is rather disgusting and degrading to show that they didn't open it because the UNC built it. That is wickedness to the highest level. Highest level. Wickedness. Wickedness. Watch. And watch how they're doing it, eh? They say they built Mahaika Oval, although I am telling you factually it's Mahaika football field. They build Mahaika football field. They padlock on the gate. They do over the swimming pool, they padlock on the gate. No matter what they do, they under the impression that they own it. You go up Lavantel, they build a swimming pool, they ain't put no seating arrangement because the people don't deserve it. It's like the facilities that is built under the PNM, the people of Trinidad and Tobago is not deserving of it. Their children not deserving of it. Or when PNM builds something, they under the impression that PNM own it. This is why Point Fortin Borough could put a lock on Mahaika football field because PNM own it. Put a lock on the swimming pool because PNM own it. Don't give the people, we old people and them, we elderly brothers and sisters who already made the contribution. Them don't want to exercise on the swimming pool. All of them, send them up on the beach. Those who living in Egypt, them can just walk on the road and come by the swimming pool. Ladies and gentlemen, all of this wickedness going on in joke. What's the kind of thing that my Minister Kiza, had to address in Point Fortin while PNM play games? What's the kind of thing when my minister had to address, had to literally beg the Point Fortin PNM-led borough corporation, beg them so that the Burgesses and them in Point Fortin could get opportunity to utilize the
while I'm on that. Just as I say with Mahaika, the community swimming pool has been reopened. But I'm still hearing parents complaining that they cannot access the pool. I'm calling on the CEO and the borough who are in charge of this thing. Let us have a meeting. Let us fix this swimming pool. I've received complaints from the clubs who use the pool, stating that the price that these national athletes have to pay to access the pool is and then when they go to Cuba, it's almost free. Yeah. I mean, something had to be wrong with that, man. So Point Fortin, let us support our elite athletes and give them access to the pool either for free or at something reasonable. Sit down with the clubs and negotiate. These clubs are making us proud. So let us access. But we have requested a meeting with the borough.
Now listen, this is to show you all exactly what is taking place. Now, anybody who know my minister, my member of parliament for Point Fortin, he don't play games. So this is not a thing to make nobody look bad. It's just that the situation is out of control. And then the bad thing with it, they're locking the facilities and their councillors are literally walking the road and telling the people in their districts that they don't have resources because of the UNC and because people in Point vote for Kiza. That is the excuse that these jokers, these failures using. They are telling the people in Point Fortin the reason why the borough don't have no money. This is despite no matter what year you look, this is what you're working. No matter what program, nothing works in Point Fortin Borough Corporation. And they're still lying on the member of parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, There are a lot, based on what it is I continue to see on social media. Somebody sent me a video today again concerning a community, not in Point 14, a community loaded with garbage. The community is loaded with garbage. And we have somebody make a video and blaming the member of parliament. I come to realize that at least 98% of the PNM and the PNM supporters don't know the difference between central government and local government. I have come to terms with that. Whether they're sitting in office or they're out of office, based on how Kareem Marcellus talk, based on how Hans does talk, based on how Miss Penelope does talk, based on how Miss Camille used to talk, based on how all these people, Marvin Gonzalez, based on how Marvin, especially Marvin does talk. Based on how Marvin does talk. These people knows nothing about central government and local government because they're utilizing things and shortcomings that they hear in today's conversation and blaming central government for it, and their corporation is in charge. Their corporation is in charge. People in Point 14, cut out one of our videos. Type up on it that the member of parliament for Point 14, basically, he's a joker because NGC cut funding to the athletes. NGC had the cut funding, we heading into our budget, and on top of that, nobody could give allocation. Nobody don't find it strange that PNM could only boast about Keyshawn Walcott. Nobody don't find it strange, millions of dollars spent. And the only person that the PNM could boast about when it comes to sports is Keyshawn Walcott. So nobody don't find that. Is it that they give Keyshawn Walcott millions of dollars? Because I don't think that is the public data that we have. If they did, well, we thank God that actually they blessed Keyshawn. But the People's National Movement cannot give accountability to where the financial resources of Trinidad and Tobago were spent. Whether it be the money in the treasury, whether it be Heritage and Stabilization Fund, whether it be the money that they borrowed. And this is so sad and disgusting and degrading that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, while we continue to stand with Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessa, why are they victimizing the people with the little power that they still have? Point 14, all you understand why I tell all you that Borough Corporation needs to be handed over to the relevant persons, the persons that are willing to work on your behalf. Look at their corporation, look at what they did. Point 14, I want to urge you this afternoon, I want to remind you, the only person that they could have testified was working was Brianna Fortune John. And look at what they did to her. They disrespected that young lady. And because she a patriot, she continued to stand the ground. I don't believe today nobody could get Brianna Fortune John to testify that she's a PNM. I don't believe that. And I don't speak to her like that. But what PNM structure, their portfolio, ladies and gentlemen, the synopsis, everything they stand for is wickedness. It's wickedness. And the faster people see this, it can't be all the communities are the same cry. Just last night, I had to listen to the content coming out from La Hoquita. It's not even a community center, it's an activity center. And you cannot access the activity center to have activities. This is under Mr. Foster Cummins' stewardship. And bamboozle and hoodwink the people. Hoodwink the people, you know. Talking about you building a $14 million structure. You're looking to thief $14 million. About you building a $14 million structure.
Requested a meeting with the board.
While the people in the community can't even access the activity center. Wickedness. Anyway, you turn with this PNM government. If they build something, they lock the doors. If they lock the doors, it's because they leave no seating arrangement. Because your life and your child and you as the parent, you is of no value. You is of no value. And this is what they market. This is what they promote and this is what they endorse. Trinidad and Tobago, New York City, a senior in the house. Bless good afternoon. Trinidad and Tobago, despite what we're going through, yes, it hard. We damn sure know it's slow. Yes, we know. But if there's one thing we know that we have a government working on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago delegation attends the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly Port of Spain 22nd. Okay. Minister of Foreign Affairs and CARICOM Affairs that Trinidad and Tobago will participate in a high-level week of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, taking place in New York City during the period of the 22nd of September to the 30th of September. Delegate will be led by Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, who is expected to travel in the upcoming days. Ahead of the travel, Honorable Sean Sobers, MP, Minister of Foreign Affairs and CARICOM Affairs, Deputy of Trinidad and Tobago, Senior, departing from Trinidad and Tobago on Saturday, the 20th of September. Well, all right, so our Prime Minister is outside of the country. And again, we're saying blessed good afternoon to Trinidad and Tobago, while the New York, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago delegate will engage in a series of high-level, ladies and gentlemen, again, so our Prime Minister, Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa and Sean Sobers, the delegate is outside representing Trinidad and Tobago, again, in the United Nations conversation. And this is what it is we're saying. Our government continue to work for us. This kind of bacchanal we CARICOM dealing with, them claim to be independent nation and refuse to stand up and secure their borders. That is their business. So to all the rest of governments on the outside of Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who left your citizen in the hands of the Venezuelan representative, I never do no investigation. The American government clearly gave the information, and I born and I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago. I have enough sense to know, and we're doing my research. I have enough sense to clearly find out that people have been boasting about Trinidad and Tobago being a drug hub. And I am totally disgusted by that. We have too much successful people for drugs to be marketed and promoted more highly than we successful persons. You telling me guns is being promoted higher than soca? Because when you tune into social media, the level of violence that you're seeing, guns is being promoted way more than our own culture. Guns is being brandished more than the Trinidad and Tobago flag in Trinidad and Tobago. And ladies and gentlemen, we needed a government to put a stop to it. This is why April 28th we voted the United National Congress. So to our Honorable Prime Minister and each and every representing factor, to you in Trinidad and Tobago, yes, as we agree, things slow, but something had to stop in order for something good to start. We must stop the old activities, the old behavior, in order for us to move on to good things. So brothers and sisters, I encourage you, stay the course. The budget is coming early October. Early October. Let us give our Minister of Finance and the relevant support system that he have the opportunity to deliver a budget to the people of Trinidad and Tobago where we could utilize the structures to actually start to build our nation. We know the shortcomings. Felix, I am sure they are coming back. I'm sure they are coming back with some kind of goodies for the country, and this is it. Listen, all you notice what's going on now. Companies that are dragged out of Trinidad and Tobago because of poor governance and poor leadership. Come back here. Today we're standing with Shell and Exxon. Just the other day, our whole deal where PNM didn't finish. This UNC government just finished it with the blocks. And because of new government, that is with the blocks, with the deep water structure. I don't know if people realize what actually took place there. It's new investors that this government was able to attract, Wasn't the same old four from PNM on, It's new persons that this government was able to attract. Ladies and gentlemen, this government, after coming back in office, was able to bring back ExxonMobil. They didn't bring back ExxonMobil, understand that they have a government that they could work with now. Shell is back in Trinidad and Tobago. You've seen governments sending relevant support because Trinidad and Tobago stands with a government that understands that everybody in Trinidad and Tobago need representation. You don't get harassed because we Prime Minister is an East Indian. Don't get that be harassed. We Prime Minister is a Trinbagonian citizen. She's from Indian descent and she's proud of it. And I'm proud that she's proud of it. Sarah can say the same thing about Rowley, who's African, from African descent. It's sad that I can't say it. because it's some of the worst governance that this country has ever met. And while he had Mr. Manning, he could have allowed Mr. Manning's legacy to flourish. Instead, countries like Barbados understand the value of Mr. Manning and continue to have respect for him. The PNM didn't. It's 10 years, 9 years, and 8 months. Not one of the PNM supporters could have mentioned Mr. Manning's name in a meeting. Election coming up, they started to run content. Bunch of hypocrites. The same people were spitting the man's face, trying to use his content to win an election and think that God's sleeping. Madness. Literally spitting the man's face, you know, and try to use this man's content to win an election. You know what's sad with it? His son authorized it. So if his son didn't like him, that just shows PNM. I think Brian Manning is on a different level. Brian Manning is on a different level of... Let me see what category I could put Manning in. Manning is a greedy fella. Brian Manning, you are a greedy fella. And I say this with no remorse this afternoon. Because you sat back and watched them people and them disrespect your father. Spit in his face, drag him out of Balize house, and then went and boast that they work Obia for him in Tobago. 8 months after your father died. And because of greediness, you turned a blind eye. Today we asking, where the hell you get $100 million to buy out? What really going on? What really going on, Mr. Manning? We know you're married into a different descent. Yes, and we know there are some Indian people in this country with money. But I don't believe the Indian people in this country have all that support and all that faith in Mr. Manning. No, I don't think so. And the last conversation we heard coming from the Manning family, based on Mr. Rowley's delivery, that the Manning family didn't have all the resources. This is PNM content we discussing here, you know. This is PNM content that we discussing here. And if the Manning family did not have all the resources, Brian Manning don't have such a luxurious history in his profession. Well, then where did he accumulate? Who did he encourage? What structure was used for Brian Manning to access over $100 million? What really going on in this country? There is only so much games and so much ball that the PNM could continue bowling to try to divert people from the truth. There is only so much noise that could be made that only could try to divert people from the truth. But the fact is, the People's National Movement, that entire administration, who believe they tie up in corruption, all you have the responsibility to understand that all you sat down and watched wickedness took place. All you sat down and watched. Now all the boasts, they boast about PNM, they boast about PNM being an African party. When it comes to the PNM engine room, what I am going to tell you, Marvin Gonzalez, Miss Penelope Beckles, Shamfa Kojo, Nayan Gasby Dolly, Adrian Leonsi, although he's not there anymore, the new Rastaman will replace him, Hans Devine, Corey Marcel. Nobody in the PNM could dispute what I am going to tell you today. When was time to handle the affairs of Trinidad and Tobago? The PNM engine room was Rohan Sunanan, Kazim Hussein, Faris Alwari, Stuart Young, Imbert. Rowley at the side playing marble pitch. The PNM engine room was based on 5 persons. 5. While Rowley at the side playing marble pitch. And these 5 jokers were still able to convince Africans in this country up to today that the PNM is an African party. Hundreds of millions of dollars in corruption. Hundreds of millions of dollars in contract. millions of dollars when you're talking corporation level cannot be answered for. And these people out and about making noise, trying to mislead the people in our population while they're asking relevant questions. Mr. Cummins, if your intentions was for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, if you had such a heart for the poor people in this country, if you were such a good representative, why today there is data of you building a house on a piece of land that was allocated for low affordable housing? Sir, you are a millionaire. The documents show that. Sir, your family members is millionaires. The documents show that. And as much as we can't say whether you made your money legal, although we know some of the work that you did was that you... Only hear how much time the Tobago market had to do about it. Only understand what's taking place in this place. Only listen how much time they had to do repairs on the Tobago market. Anybody ask who built the market? Anybody asking? A lot of these projects that is drastically poor workmanship. The companies that build these things. And you would notice which direction the fingers on them are pointing. So bad enough some of those persons who were sitting in political office, they say it's the family get the contract. Bad enough the work is insubordinate work. It's poor workmanship. They still victimize poor people. Equal opportunity, where was that under the PNM? Equal opportunity, where was that under Foster Cummins and Rowley and Miss Penelope Beckles? Marvin Gonzalez. When Marvin asking you questions like that is a waste of time. Waste of time. Big waste of time. Because you didn't even know that it had a power plant in Labrie. You didn't even know that Mr. Patrick Manning installed a power plant in Labrie. So discussing anything of serious standard to Marvin Gonzalez is a waste of time. You sit down here, people in Tobago elected you to represent Tobago. You come to Trinidad and get tied up with theatrics, glitz and glamour, eats and drinks, and dress up. That when the United National Congress pointed out the poor representation of Ms. Shamfa Kojo, the poor representation, no, don't do better. I can't miss this. Oh gosh, Felix, too much. You want to totally wipe out the PNM out. No. This had nothing to do with totally wiping out the PNM. This had to do with PNM utilizing my race to misguide people in this country. This is an indictment on the PNM. And the PNM must be held accountable for misguiding, misrepresenting, and misleading the people of Trinidad and Tobago. The People's National Movement was in office when people were like Julia Davy and them who consider themselves PNM activists stood up and encouraged people to jump over people's fence. Bless good afternoon again, brother. How you do? Bless good afternoon, you hear me?
Yeah, Ovim.
Talk to me.
Let me give you a little piece of history now. And Patrick Manning spent $500 billion for a feasibility test for the rapid rail. What became of that? You hear what I say?
Thank you.
$500 billion for a feasibility test of the rapid rail. What happened to that? That money wasted. That is money wasted, right?
Yes.
Right. That could have gone where? To help all the poor areas where the PNs would them. That's all.
Yeah.
$500 billion. And they're happy with that, right?
Yeah.
Right. So they're happy with that. They prefer hampers. They don't know what is $500 billion. Right?
Yeah.
Added to that, when Manning lost the election in 2010, he was roughed up by two big-size African men, the front page of the Express. I wonder where his son was boy when he saw them.
Talk to me.
When he,
Talk to
remember
me.
Manning called election early, not so?
Yes.
Yes, it's supposed to be 2012, but he called
Yes.
it 2010 because of whom?
Ah,
Rowley.
uh-huh.
Rowley. So one for the road.
One for the
Nice.
road. Thank you much. Hey. Now that is so true. So people of Trinidad and Tobago, based on what the caller saying, all you need to understand, a government could only win election by votes. Some of us wholly and solely responsible for the PNM continue to have the opportunity to drag this country down the gutter as they did. I hope the minds, the eyes, and the hearts of Trinbagonian citizens that unity must continue to speak louder. Love for country must continue to speak louder. We as a people must understand we have different persons sitting in office, and we must not allow nobody, whether PNM or otherwise, to utilize their profession against them. This is what they try with Mr. Sturge. This is what they're trying with Mr. Alexander. And Mr. Alexander watching everybody like, all I had to be crazy. All I had to be crazy. This thing really calling for explanation, well, no problem. He said he go put out a statement today. But I am saying somebody who is a former police officer, a former representative, run past sergeant status, that comes with work because you're building in rank. So if Mr. Alexander have informers or have people who just distribute particular information, he have a responsibility to go and have a meeting and let people know, hey, listen to me. I would no longer be participate. Well, I could no longer participate in this year and give an explanation. This is what it is I am telling people. People don't understand. A lot of the people in this country don't understand how the United National Congress with the coalition of interests and Tobago is actually functioning because people not accustomed seeing the representative when it's not election. They don't know how to fathom what is taking place. And I am just here to tell the citizen this is the new norm. This is the representation that we have been asking for. This is the new norm. When I vote for you, well, then I needs to see you and needs to know that you understand the plight that is taking place. And I don't need to only see you when it's election time. Look how many times that happened. And the United National Congress being led by Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar put their foot down to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Our Prime Minister even read the Riot Act to the brothers and sisters serving under her. She read the act so that the people of Trinidad and Tobago understand good representation is what is being encouraged by the leader and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our responsibility to encourage our Prime Minister, encourage our ministers, encourage our MPs that we depending on them. We're not putting faith in man. We're not putting faith in man. We're asking God to order their steps, keep them in alignment so that they continue to represent the people. We don't wholly and solely give the victory of the Trinbago Night Riders or wholly and solely give the victory of Jerome Richards or give the victory of Keyshawn Walcott. We don't wholly and solely give it to the UNC. But what I could give you from the UNC, based on speaking with Jerome Richards, the athlete who brought home silver from Point Fortin, that representing Trinidad and Tobago, is based on the representation, based on the information coming out of the nation. It does determine the mindsets of the athletes. So that is why they had to go so deep down to reproach Keyshawn. They basically reproach the athletes. But I love how Keyshawn made sure and paid tribute to his coach. Wicked. The outer timing and vindictive have nothing to hold on to. They continue to grab at straws. And I want Trinidad and Tobago to know, Point 14 Burgesses, I want all to understand what take place. Just this weekend here, PNM boasts about spending money with Keyshawn. They boast about luxuriously blessing Keyshawn. And they left our very own in Point 14. What did Jerome Richards do that the PNM left him out? What did he do that they didn't give him support? I hope that Point 14 understand. I hope that Library understand. The PNM did never like us. They never had no heart for us. Who want to play foolish in tongue, them could go ahead and play foolish. But they never liked us. Look at how they boast about Keyshawn. They were thanking the new administration. One of the very first things that they did enter in office, they noticed that Jerome Richards was not given relevant support from the former administration for his contribution. And Jerome, hold your hand. It have more to come. It have more to come because we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, is encouraging our government to utilize the resources of Trinidad and Tobago for Trinidad and Tobago. Use it to uplift the mindsets, the neighborhoods, the communities, and the ministries in Trinidad and Tobago, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what it is that these PNM supporters, what they're really trying to debate, what their argument is, but I will tell you one thing before I leave here today. I will tell you one thing before I leave here today. Now, let me not lie because you know others end up continue talking. But I will tell you something before I leave here today. The former Prime Minister that the PNM luxuriously marketing to African people, which is Mr. Rowley, that he was a good leader. I want all the Africans in Trinidad and Tobago and all the African communities to know, all the African families, all those who educate the children, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters to know that under the stewardship and the leadership of Rowley look into all of the African communities, all the African neighborhoods, and not one African under the PNM was qualified to replace him as the political leader of the PNM. That is one. Number two is that Rowley and his banner jokers use whatever zigzag they could zigzag to install Stuart Young. Stuart Young, who is barely an Indian, nothing close to African. So I hope that all the Africans in this country, this is despite Rowley and his administration disrespecting Mr. John Jeremy. Look where Mr. John Jeremy stands today. You tell me who ethnicity showing more respect for who ethnicity. You tell me who Prime Minister more respectful to all ethnicity than who Prime Minister. Miss Kamala Posad, sister, I know you're outside of the country, but take about every single person who could boast in Trinidad and Tobago that all you never waver, all you never at no point in time in vote PNM or vote no other organization, all you stand with all your UNC, whether win, loss, or draw. Each and every one of you this afternoon, I want to encourage all you, take a bow and take it in front of your children because you have been making the right decision. Those of us who migrated in to the UNC, all you understand where we at. Despite what racial talk you hear that Indian like you, Indian want to clear no way for you, Indian business about you, always utilize that opportunity, especially if an African telling you that. Ask them, when African was in power, where was my share? Where was my slice of the pie? Bless good afternoon, caller. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Hello. I just listened. Yes, good afternoon. I'm listening to you, Ivan. And I want to just let you know that I have no intention of wanting any one of the PNM people within our country, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Rowley is the worst thing that ever hit our country, Trinidad and Tobago.
Jesus.
He came and he destroyed everything.
Yes. Yes.
He chose Tot Young because Tot Young connection with Venezuela and the plans they had for us. If they had won the election, people would have seen
Yes.
how the Venezuelans have been dealing inside of here because of Tot Young.
Thank you.
You understand? And a lot of people thinking like me and like you, and we want no part of the PNM. Every one of them right now in opposition is wicked.
Yes.
Evil people, all them for Lucifer. They have no feelings, no love in them, only greed.
Yes. Yes.
And I second to in this, and my heart feel nice, and I hope that the totality of Trinidad and Tobago think like this. And when come for election of we getting coming up soon, we not to vote for not one PNM member, not one. They're not good. They destroy us.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, miss.
God bless him.
Thank you much.
God
Thank
bless
you much.
God ain't
Powerful contribution. Powerful contribution, miss. And thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the ground that's speaking. I want to say a happy birthday to Mohammed again. Mohammed has been a long-running person with us. So I say a happy birthday, and ladies and gentlemen, we're sending out happy birthdays to everyone. So again, those of you who up, let's send some love to we boy Mohammed. Send out some love to everyone who's saying happy birthday. But sister, I understand where you're coming from, and this is why I'm telling brothers and sisters in the corporations. Look at how Ms. Khadija Amin pull out. That is the local government minister. Ms. Patsy Ann is that. We are playing. Ms. Khadija Amin is our local government minister. There are certain communities, or we should say certain electoral districts that was actually UNC based. When Ms. Khadija Amin get the work, Ms. Khadija Amin opened the door for every single corporation, every group to reach out. Those of you who need support, because she realized there's a serious drainage problem in Trinidad and Tobago. And this is after dealing with her own UNC districts. PNM districts had the same problem. You know what it is the PNM representative did in exchange? They turn around and they tell the PNM supporters, councillor did it, mayors did it, some of them did it. They tell the people that look how Khadija Amin and them racial. They're cleaning the drain up by them and they wouldn't clean any PNM areas. When is the PNM representative have the responsibility to organize the initiative? This is what they're doing because of laziness, and right now they have to work. They have to work because you know we have people like Keisha Grant and others on the ground in point. So they have to come out and work now. Now they have to work. So now they have to come up with fresh excuses and fresh lies why they don't have money. So apparently the new structure why Point Fortin Borough Corporation don't have money based on the councillors is because the member of parliament apparently he running the borough corporation. When Point Fortin had a mayor who was more focused on the grass cutting and CPEP, what was his contribution? Anybody ever answer that question? What was the role? Ladies and gentlemen, this thing is a comedy festival going on here. And I just want to encourage you, always stay focused and stay blessed. Understand what is taking place here in Trinidad and Tobago. The conversation is each one help on a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And being a good person is not an option. But that is the only thing to do going forward in our society. Let us stay focused and let us stay strong. Reports of a police-involved shooting in Sandy Grande say 2 dead, 1 hospitalized. Madness. Madness. Soldier among 2 killed in police-involved shooting in Sandy Grande. Listener, cops said that they were planning a robbery. A soldier and another man was killed in a police-involved shooting on Sunday evening after officers of the North Central Division Gang Intelligence Unit intercepted a vehicle, allegedly linked to an alleged robbery plot. So, ladies and gentlemen, the conversation has come out, and just like the conversation with the United States of America attacking these boats and trying to slow down this fight against this drug trafficking, the conversation is that there were reports of an alleged robbery plot. A police report states around 6:37 p.m. on September the 21st, officers were conducting surveillance in the village of Sande Grande after receiving intelligence that armed suspects in a red, after receiving intelligence that armed suspects in a red Honda Visa were planning to rob again. Listen, they just wasn't planning to rob, They was planning an armed robbery following the CPL cricket finals. So apparently these bandits and them, they plan to go home and watch the cricket. It is madness in this country, yes. So again, with that case, it's alleged that we have Wallafield farmers are questioning the construction. Listen to this conversation here. Wallafield farmers is questioning the construction of a $14 million community center. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't understand what really going on with these people and them. There's all kind of different arguments, all kind of different bacchanal. And when you listen to the conversation, it boils back down to the same thing. But I want to bring you a piece of important information coming out from CJOS here. Right? Listen to this piece of audio here. To the fishermen of Trinidad and Tobago, yes, we know that you are a little inconvenienced right now because of the activities that is taking place in the Caribbean Ocean. But I want to ask it to be real and reasonable. It have fish in Trinidad waters or it don't have fish. If it have no fish in Trinidad waters, all you need to put out that content so that the population can understand what you're dealing with. If it is just saying when you leave our waters and you just go outside and you get a bigger catch, which is all good too. The problem is that we're asking you to just take your time. Now we have some fishermen. Just school, I had to put that on the screen. Just school strip the thought out of my mind, yes. To the fishermen and them in different communities, we just asking you all, bear with Trinidad, bear with the American government, bear with the situation that is taking place. If you know you're not a part of the drug trade, please ply your trade a little closer. It might be a little harder, but please ply your trade until the situation is rectified. Now listen to me. The conversation is when America go back. Listen, America has been our longest ally for the longest. America is our longest ally factually in Trinidad and Tobago. So they never left us since they have been our allies. So America is not going anywhere. And the fact that the government of Trinidad and Tobago is supporting the fight against drug and narco-terrorism, America isn't going anywhere. America understands that they have a responsibility to their own borders, and every drug shipment at all, whether it's opium, it's speed, it's acid, whether it's ecstasy, whether it's hardcore cocaine, whatever it is, it heads to the shores of the United States of America. And thank God that the American government is sitting with a president that actually putting his foot down. We're not rejoicing on the blowing up of any vessel. We're not rejoicing on anybody who see the only angle or the only way to make a dollar in life is with drugs. We're not rejoicing on that because we have enough sense to know that a lot of people practice activities because of lack of information. Some practice it because of misinformation. And we have enough sense to know that some just don't business. So if the Coast Guard of the United States of America have been on top of this, and then all these drug dealers and them do is tend to upgrade, well, then they brought in the relevant equipment. If fellas know that we're not into the drug trade, well, then we're not supposed to be having no drugs speeding across no waters with drugs. America blow up one, they say America wicked. They blow up two, they say they're wicked. The third one, they pull over. They give the information. Listen, one get blow up, America wicked and unjust. Two get blow up, America wicked and unjust. Three get blow up, America wicked and unjust. Four get blow up, America wicked and unjust. But the one that they pull over, the one that only asks them to pull over and investigate, end up with over 500 kilo of cocaine on it. And all they're still saying the people them wrong. All they're still saying is lack of investigation. And I don't know. I don't know. We're not rejoicing. But again, Irvin Felix, who living in Trinidad and Tobago, I know that there are too many guns on the streets because our borders have been left exposed. And on top of that, not just the amount of guns on the streets, not just the fact that Trinidad and Tobago was being used as a drug hub for years. It's the fact that the People's National Movement did not even care about the immunization status of foreigners. They allow immigrants to enter our country loose, free, talk how they want, do how they want. That video with Venezuelans running down police with cutlass in Princeton. They had a ball. And with all of that, those of us who have basic common sense still understand that nobody could bring clarification of what type of diseases that Trinidad and Tobago factually have. Let me bring all a piece of content coming out from the news, coming out from CJS.
The sun beats down on the Cedros shoreline. Wooden boats rock gently on the water. Gulls wheel above and the air smells of salt and fish. At first glance, it's a calm, quiet scene. But for fishermen here, the risks beneath these waters are greater than ever. We set out from the Cedros shoreline aboard Clay Chicory's small wooden pirogue. The sun blazes overhead, casting a silvery glare across the calm sea. The waters look serene, but for those who know these shores, the danger is never far away. Chicory, who has fished these waters more than 40 years, scans the horizon carefully. He says the usual concerns of pirates and smuggling.
You see that they were on the screen here? When his fishing boat does be on Chagaramas every day, that had to be addressed. That had to be addressed.
And now compounded by geopolitical.
All right, Ole, we have a little boy on the chat here. Boy, you have an opportunity. Don't get angry. Don't go up in your P&M feelings. You have an opportunity to pull back the live and cross-examine everything I say. Right? So we could start with Foster Commons. If Foster Commons did not end up illegally with a piece of land from low affordable housing, you have an opportunity to tell the public, boy, that are lying. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, let me get back to work.
Tensions. In early September and just last week, U.S. forces struck Venezuelan-linked boats in nearby waters, destroying vessels and killing several people.
I think I will step back one thing. You check with Venezuela and Trinidad, I've been cautious.
He says many Cedros fishermen are staying closer to home, especially after a warning from Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who said fishermen caught in Venezuelan waters would be on their own.
We have to do that. We have to be cautious because
Bless, good afternoon. Report, how you do?
so you be safe.
All right,
Cedros, Icarcus, and
now, let me do bypass that statement that the reporter just said. The reporter just said because the fisherman on the vessel and the fishermen down in Cedros are stating that they're sticking close. They're sticking in Trinidad waters. Now, I don't know if people in Trinidad and Tobago is aware. At Cedros, the distance between Cedros to Venezuela, it is literally the closest point. So, if it's a fisherman that is really, really inconvenienced with what is taking place, is the Cedros fishermen. And the Cedros fishermen come to terms that based on the information, the activities were taking place is one, and based on the instructions that was distributed by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, whether he is a fisherman or he is a trafficker. Either way, if the Venezuelan authorities apprehend you in their waters, there would be no pity from the government of Trinidad and Tobago. So if you apply in your trade, whichever shoreline, once you are in a Trinbagonian and you ply in your fishing trade, brothers and sisters, I want to encourage you. Because listen, don't feel we wasn't watching over the years. Don't feel we didn't see the videos with Venezuelan representative or cartel or whoever it is was running all the down in Trinidad waters. If we fixing a problem, let me fix it one time and properly. Right? Let us give the American government the space as they handle the situation with this fight against drugs and narco-terrorism. And I'm asking you, give the Trinidad and Tobago government the support as they continue to stand with the fight against drugs and narco-terrorism. Somebody say, Cedros fishermen like the fishing in an area called Green Bush. That is bordering Venezuelan waters. Therein lies You understand? But I like how the serious fishermen and them is explaining that they heard the Prime Minister. Fishermen have no problem. Let me see, fishermen have no problem. I hope, bless good afternoon, they stay that the PNM propaganda is putting the false narrative. Thank you very much, Ayo. All you see what's going on here with Ayo here now. So again, the fishermen and them is not boys a little girl. Boys, stop behaving like a little girl, please, on behalf of the PNM, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, all you're reading this what's going on here. Fishermen have no problem. They say this is a PNM propaganda that is putting false narrative out there. Again, why would PNM do that? I will explain to you why PNM will do that. PNM will do that because PNM have nothing to hold on to. There is no legacy. There is no structure. They cannot say that they install social programs or they actually develop communities. So instead, their responsibility is to continue as what is his name? Adrian Leonsi. Not Adrian, I say Adrian. Adrian, big up yourself, brother. Big up yourself for not being picked by the PNM. Marvin Gonzalez luxuriously boasts about the PNM propaganda machinery. Failure. Failure. Why would they do that? Because all they have to hold on to is propaganda. And Marvin boasts about it since Eric Williams' time, they're holding on to propaganda. It is so sad, and first they're disrespectful and have no respect for Mr. Manning and Mr. Pandey's contribution. Marvin boasting about PNM propaganda since Eric Williams. Bunch of jokers. Propaganda child. None of you making sense. What's this comments? To our brothers and sisters. Let me get rid of that boy. Boy, stop acting like a little boy. Stop acting like a little child. Matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, to my UNC, my coalition family. All your blessed good afternoon. I'm sending out some love to UNC Trinidad and Tobago. We have to send out some love to UNC New York because as far as I hear, UNC have a very big following on the outside. We sending out love to UNC England, UNC Canada, UNC Toronto. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. We sending out love to UNC in the Caribbean because the UNC followers, ladies and gentlemen, we have a responsibility to keep the information relevant and focus. Mr. Felix, you are age to speak of God. But excuse me, let me explain something to you. For some strange reason, all your PNM blight, drag down supporters always coming to tell me about speaking about God. I have no documentation. When it is you hear me talk about God and it making that type of impact, it has actually hit me. That probably are supposed to be a pastor or something, because I cannot believe me coming up and explaining to people about God naturally with no spiritual documentation. I have no documentation, ladies and gentlemen. When I ask you to stand firm with the government, when I ask you and I sit down and I pray for my government, I think that is without practice, that is without biblical teaching. So thank you very much for bringing it up, boy. But this big man and big woman conversation going on here this afternoon. Damn foolish. And all you could say is, yeah, Felix, but you have a gifting. But I don't know, is the African PNM Balize juice in your system that you just cannot say, Felix, but you have a gifting. But I'm thanking all the Real Talk 648 supporters because it doesn't hesitate to show love. Boy, all your African and all your vindictive, all your wicked to all your own self. All you will rather all your children not get opportunities. All you will rather all your children not get opportunities than stand for righteousness. But boy, my responsibility is to let you know that righteousness exalts a nation and sin is a reproach. Blessed good afternoon, Freeport.
Good afternoon, Mr. Felix, and good afternoon to everybody on the chat except Boy, because he don't know if he's a donkey or an ass. them just only come here to upset people, you know, boy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I was in the mechanic shop all the time and I taking you on and I getting vexed, but the hard was to hold on because I had some PNM people around and you know.
Yeah.
When you're talking and hearing people around, they get upset. Yeah, but here now, I want to know what gave these PNM former minister and former MP and whoever the authority to grab land in Trinidad like if they ain't care about nobody. I sent a video about Foster Cummings. I don't know if you'll read through it.
I ain't read it yet. I ain't go through it yet. When you come up, I'll
When
go
you
through
have time, go through it now. Because here what happened. Foster Cummings and his wife and his daughter and them feel they own part of Cuba, boy.
it. Yes, sir.
It has some, it has some property, some HDC property in Cuba, value over more than 600,000. They pay people 100,000 for it. They grab about 12 property in the Cuba area, and I didn't hear the exchange Caroni property.
Yeah.
Call up in all those property, eh? So them could do what they want. And the amount of HDC and some other entity contract they get, how them alone getting everything.
Yeah.
And I will tell you something, you know, he has some thugs. If he want to get at you, he's sending his thugs for you, eh? That's the kind of man Foster Cummings is.
Yeah.
And
Send dog for
I
me?
don't know. Now the PNM asking the question that the UNC used to ask before the 20th of April, and their answer to those questions used to be non-disclosure, non-disclosure. But they want answer now.
Yes.
So they have to get their own medicine, take their own medicine that they used to give people, because they could have never answered no question before the 28th. Now they want the same question answer. So we have Barry Pararat, and we have this boy from Sawa,
Yes.
Barataria, to deal with them.
Saddam.
You know, Saddam, that's the man.
Saddam Hussein.
Yes, yes.
Oh God,
right?
I finally get to meet Saddam the other day, yes, boy.
Okay.
Saddam is a good one. Saddam is one we expecting some good things from in the future too. Some big
yes,
things.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have leadership skill, potential.
Yes.
Not like Penny and
I'm here even among the fight up to call no names because Rowley done show the Trinidad and Tobago penny and them is of no value. So you no matter fight up to remember no name. Because Rowley didn't remember no name, so you don't have to fight up.
And the fella who was commenting this morning about your MP, he failed to realize Mr. Kiza is the MP for point 14.
Yes.
So he don't really have to put his head only in labor. He has a constituency to look after too.
Represent, yes.
You know?
And people with different issues and different departments.
Not like the PNM. Not like the PNM. The PNM didn't care nothing about the supporters. And I only hope the PNM supporters now listening to what's going on.
Yes.
And learn something for it. Because the whole set of the PNM is a set of duncy head.
Yes.
Marvin asking a question. He asking the I think was the finance minister.
Yeah.
Something about education. He was in public utilities. He asking nothing about Wasau Tientech.
We Mr. Budu talking about? We Lakram Budu talking about?
Yes.
Nah, man.
The fast and out of place.
The fast and out of place.
Yes.
Fast and out of the place.
And what was the education minister again, boy? What's her name again?
The education
I can't remember
minister?
her name.
Like Gasby Dolly?
Yeah. Gasby Dolly asking our education minister, what is the situation at the Rosilak Hindu School? Right?
Hey, let me give you one with that.
And
let me give you one with that. ICPTA president, Well, I the regional
Okay.
PTA president. Rosilak have a PTA.
Okay.
So when I see the protest,
Okay.
I see the protest on news, nobody didn't call me. So I pick up my
Okay.
phone and I decide to call the president for Rosilak School. It's only to realize there's a set of PNM inside of there. Because what I asked him, man, I said, sir, hold on. Did you make contact with the representative for the area, the principal for the school, the minister of education, and yourself? Did you try to at least have a meeting so that the new government could understand how long this problem is? Because Rosilak is actually in a community center. They didn't even mention that in the protest. People don't even understand what the protest about. And the sad thing with it is everybody on the PTA was not aware of the protest. So then why did they protest? And they did not have the relevant meeting. They're utilizing these things as propaganda. Well, not propaganda, as PNM power. And as I told the president of that PTA, it is my responsibility to get proper representation for that school when it comes to PTA and the PTA structure. Because when I ask him, the man cussed me about my mother, you know. The man cussed me about my
That's how
mother.
PNM is, but that's how PNM is.
Yeah, let me
And that school
you go ahead and
closed.
talk. You go ahead and talk. Let me get rid of that boy here. You go ahead and talk.
That school closed down more than 10 years now. That school in a community center now. The community center pester with rat and whatever. They closed down the school a couple of days to spray up the place and things. And guys, we only want to know when the school open back, when the new school going to open. And they didn't provide a new school for the people.
You know how they're talking? They're talking like that school is not today's problem. It's years them people and them dealing with that. It's years.
Yes. It shut down. It shut down after the 28th of April.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, they're dealing
And
with
not
that.
only that school, like they have a problem with those Hindu schools because it's Rosilak Hindu, it is Reform Hindu,
Well,
and it Parvati girls in Pinal.
Papa,
I don't know if you ever see that school.
partners, let me tell you something. It's that information that I cannot explain to you because I am the president for the region. But a lot of work needs to be done. And the amount of money that this government has to spend in education, and this is just St. Patrick, and this is just the building structure we're talking about. This is just St. Patrick. We have started to talk Port of Spain, we started to talk of Caroni, we started to talk different parts yet. This is just St. Patrick. When I tell you that the PNM is the wickedest, most vindictive government and the most racial government, when I'm telling people that, mean telling them that because I feel to say it, I've been out and about in my country and I see the wickedness that they did. I see it. Go ahead, report.
You ever see the Parvati girls Hindu college that the UNC was building?
Yeah. Bye.
But that is a big, big structure. And it had bush, it had trees grow up through that building. Because the PNM refused to build it, to continue building it.
They refuse.
Yes. Look, the DB campus, the UE DB campus, that was so helpful for the people in the southern region that they didn't have to go to St. Augustine to rent and stay out. They could travel from home to that school, and PNM refused to open it.
Yeah, boy don't get blocked already. Boy look off already. You go ahead.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Right? They refused to open that school because of race. Race. That's the whole problem, you know. And you know, nobody has seen them thing. I only hope that the supporters of the PNM open the eye now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Everybody studying America, shoot down some Venezuelan, as they say. But nobody is studying how much Trinidadian, Venezuelan kill. And who stand up for them? Nobody.
Thank you.
I see one Caribbean leader, I don't know if it's Grenada or Jamaica, kind of supporting Trinidad.
Right.
Other than that, everybody against Trinidad.
Everybody must be against Trinidad because all of them who are against Trinidad who was huddled up with Rowley, and they decide to call the young people, the young men and the young women of Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean terrorists This is while they were tiptoeing and utilizing the country's resources to line, drink, and get a family contract. So they must not support this government here. They must not support this government.
Rowley was hugging up Maduro. Rowley and Stuart Young was hugging up Maduro all the time. And they bring everything on we, you know. They create everything that's happening to we now. That is what Rowley and Stuart Young create.
Yes.
And you see what people are washing them out on Trinidad. There's about 4 of the Venezuelan hierarchy in the government threatening Trinidad and say we calling war on them, we declaring war. Ms. Kamala Prasad never declared war. All I know she say, she tell Trump all the terrorists and all the drug lords and them, get rid of them.
Report. This is big man thing. You know what bothering me with this same thing here with this Venezuela conversation here? What bothering me with this Venezuela conversation is that it have Venezuela, not me, the United Nations put out the content that over 45,000 Venezuelans is in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Over 45,000 Venezuelans in Trinidad and Tobago. And all of them sitting down quiet, allowing our government to have to continue to defend that conversation. Was Venezuela collapsing or was Venezuela not collapsing? If Venezuela economy is that good, why the hell are people scrambling out of Venezuela? And I think it is unfair that this responsibility is left up to the government of Trinidad and Tobago and the citizens and those who come from Venezuela and get an opportunity to stay in our country, or stay here at risk because we don't know where our mindset is at. So I come to terms that I am one of the people who is asking for mass deportation because I cannot sit down quiet and act like Venezuela, everything was all good in the hood, and allowing our prime minister to continue get her name called up in unnecessary things. I find that is unjust and it is wrong.
Yesterday, a blogger make a comment on Facebook. And he say, you see where Venezuela saying they come in to claim Trinidad belong to them? He telling all the local Trinidadian, all who renting Venezuelan house and whatever, if that happen and Maduro really come and do something like that, you're losing your house that you rent them, you know, because they're going to claim it. So all you be careful how you're renting all your place for Venezuelan.
Let them go ahead now, man.
And the guy makes sense. He makes sense.
Let them go ahead now, man.
Because
Trump just get up today. Trump just get up a day in America and Trump just say he just despite Venezuela. Venezuelan activities in the people country taking over the people building, robbing the people businesses, and this was the activity. The American government make up their mind. We're not going down that road. I know how that is.
And the whole world know what Venezuela, what Maduro was doing.
Thank you very much.
And you know some of them still supporting that man, boy.
Thank you. Thank you.
We do, the only thing we may have in Trinidad is marijuana. We don't have coke, we don't have guns. Where all them things coming from?
How that coming and that supersede everything that was say that the coke conversation and the gun conversation supersede talking about culture, talking about Trinidad flag, talking about every single thing that is positive about Trinidad and Tobago. That activities supersedes it. It has been loudly displayed on an everyday basis because there's murders in the road, robberies, is all kind of different activities when it comes to gun and violent crime. And we continuing to tell people there is no gun manufacturing outlet in Trinidad and Tobago. So we thank this government on its stance against the fight against guns, drugs, and narco-terrorism in Trinidad and Tobago.
100%.
Yes, man.
Because here what happening, everything that's happening here, nine out of the 10 people that commit a crime here is Venezuelan.
Yes. Oh God.
So we have to get rid of them by the hook and the crook somehow. And if it's Venezuela who, I mean not Venezuela, sorry, if it's Trump that decide to assist we go in with that.
Yeah.
We need help because we cannot handle Venezuela at all.
True.
Venezuela is a heavy roller.
Venezuela is a big country. They have jets. They have different artilleries. We don't have that
Yes.
because we are not a war-prone
We
nation.
don't have nothing that.
We are not a war-prone nation.
know.
But what we do
But
have,
that don't mean to
what
say.
it is we do have, that we 100% more comfortable than Venezuela. What it is we do have is good governance today in Trinidad and Tobago.
Simple.
That is what
we
we
have
do
a strong leader.
Thank you.
A strong leader, and she have a lot of strong supporters
Thank
around
you.
her. Meaning like the MPs and
Yes, man, and our ministers
everybody she
and our
choose.
people.
She choose a lot. And all the Trinidadian talking about is Wayne Sturge and Roger Alexander and Philip Alexander.
And what's me? You listen, Freeport. Let me bring our perspective to this. Now, you is an East Indian standing up for Wayne Sturge and Roger Alexander. And Roger Alexander own ethnicity, his own African brothers and sisters in this country, pulling him down. So I hope Trinidad and Tobago understand what is being displayed here today. Indian people standing up for African people more than we own Africans. To go quicker come and tell you I talking shoppiness instead of tell you, PNM really wasn't sending water. They go quicker come and tell you that I brainwash and come to tell you that I is a lick bottom African. Because I is a Trinbagonian citizen and decide to utilize my constitutional right to support a government that delivered information, delivered a structure, and delivered procedure with our manifestos before election day. Come on, man. People, it's time we open our eyes and rise up. It's time we rise up.
The problem we have in all the UNC constituency will have problem for water because it still have PNM people controlling WASA.
Thank you.
And it's the same thing. It's the same thing I did said here. They have a fellow that's called Busman that's called on the ground report. All kind of problem the boss have. That's why I say before the 28th, I never hear him. And I never hear the bus service had a problem. Right? But after the 28th, he know everything. And I asked him, if you're not working somewhere, that you know what taking place in San Fernando, what taking place in Port of Spain, Arima, Sandy Grande, Princeton at the same time. You can't be all about at the same time. So you have to be a PNM stooge.
Yes, that is what he is.
Here we're going on. I don't worry about people who support the PNM, you know. But how I just talk out, if I see the UNC doing something wrong, I would talk.
You mentioned it.
Do not sit down and let the PNM override all you.
No.
All you is not stooge. All you not, they're not helping all you. Why all you supporting them? Look for the people who trying to better all your life.
Amen. Amen.
You know, a lot of people bashing Felicia because she support UNC. But I give she right. If they call you leg bottom, you take that.
Who, Felicia
You're
Thomas?
getting what you want.
Who, we, Felicia Thomas? Union Representative Felicia Thomas?
Yes, they bashing that woman as a lick bottom and all kind of thing.
Felicia Thomas, who inherited the president position and know that it have people under the PSA still waiting for pension and all kind of thing, waiting on salary increase and all kind of thing, while other different brothers and sisters was president, was who pull aside and open party group, who pull and do this. Jennifer Frederick all over the place talking a pack of rubbish. She fall in love with Watson Duke along the way. God alone know why the people of Trinidad and Tobago had to experience that. Miss Felicia Thomas is bringing back hope in the PSA, you know. Nah, not Miss Felicia Thomas.
But I'm telling you, boy, I sent a message directly to she on a chat. I said, Miss Felicia, if they say you're licking white man bottom and Indian bottom, you continue lick it once your people could be satisfied.
Thank you.
Do not do like the rest of them. They lick the bald head, the bald head man bottom, and they get nothing.
Nothing. Take it and you get a Chinese.
Nothing.
You take it and you get the Chinese and the 1% community. You and them?
Right.
You and them?
And he tell them, tighten all your belt.
Yeah, tighten all your belt.
Tighten your belt for what? You have nothing? Well, yes, he's starving them, so they will
No,
get small, the parcel fall now.
the half thing he tell them, he and Foster and Marvin and them tell them that CPEP and URP is them own.
And you know what I still can't understand? I
Crazy.
talked about it a couple of times and I will still talk about it again. Marvin talking about CPEP and talking about how when Alexander talking like every word he said have a full stop. All right, yes, if it have a full stop, yes. But when Petrotrin, that went home and all you shut down a producing company,
Yes.
how all you didn't think about those workers and them, whether they were starving or their children going to school or not. And when Trinma went down and all what went down on that PNM, I never hear the talk to say anything to, to give these people a little hope.
Yes. People don't
Right?
let them stress you. People, let me thank you for calling in today. Let me look like you offer the program here.
Right.
Until we
You
meet
take
again.
care.
And thank you much for your contribution.
Take care, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Again.
And people, thank you very much. I cut you off too fast. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends again, I want to thank every one of you for tuning in, for viewing, for supporting. Again, if you haven't yet, I want to encourage you to make sure and hit the bell icon, brothers and sisters. Please put your likes, please put your share. Paul Saran, bless good afternoon. PNM has failed to truly understand the reality on the ground. While again, and that is so truth. And that is on them because they never had no interest on the ground. The ground people is only designed to cut grass. So whether you have a degree, once you're from particular communities and you don't have certain assets, you cannot make it around the PNM. So whether you have a degree or you pass out with full certificates, the PNM have no use for you. They will direct you to the closest hardware to buy a straight cutlass because your responsibility is to, and you know the foolish thing about it? This is what I got. This is what I got from the PNM supporters. Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, the Minister of Education, matter of fact, the whole United National Congress with the Coalition of Interest agreed that every child should have the equal opportunity to be educated in Trinidad and Tobago. How do you start that process? This thing is not just about talk, it's about actually backing up what you're saying. So Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, for a second time being in government, brought back computers to our children for a second time. And mind me, the PNM supporters, this is what I get from all here. Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, damn fast and out as she plays. She out of timing. She feel we stupid. This is why I get from the PNM supporters. She feel we stupid. Because all you feel all you want to educate all our children for we children to end up with degrees, go on to work in corporate world, go on to be, we should say, to be compatible in industries, go on to be successful in movies and in the energy sector. Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar and her government feel that them can install that in our communities and feel that we stupid as PNM supporters to allow them to endorse with children to move forward and be successful and them take CPEP from we. So instead, these PNM supporters, this is how they look, all they put out a very good fight. A very good fight to continue to show Trinidad and Tobago the only avenue that the PNM government opened for African people and less fortunate people in this country, the only avenue is CPEP, URP, and Forest Reserve. And I'm saying that is so sad how some of these adults thinking. Rowley and Imbut stand up and they say by 2017, by 2020, they said this in 2015 to win election. They said by 2020, every school will have internet access. I dare one of them PNM trolls to say that line. I dare one of them to say that line. Him and Imbut stood up on a stage and talk about all the magnificent digital contribution that the PNM administration was going to make and stripped Ms. Kamala's laptop program. Installed nothing. Matter of fact, we ran straight into COVID-19. They didn't even bring contributions to the teachers. The teachers had to use their personal devices to make interaction with the children. Had me and all begging for electrical device for people children when the government had a responsibility to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They gave movie tongue money, they gave the bars money, they gave Maduro and his entourage money, allow them to fly in and out, drive in and out, ride in and out of Trinidad and Tobago how they feel. They didn't give the less fortunate money to help out when I was back to school. So ladies and gentlemen, we calling a spade, a shovel, and we calling a jack. The PNM is the worst organization that has ever been in government in Trinidad and Tobago. Based on their delivery of explaining their history, it's they who took away Mr. Manning's history. It's they who dragged Mr. Manning's legacy. Mr. Manning's son is wholly and solely responsible for Mr. Rowley boasting about working Obia on his father. Because you went and happily represent after Mr. Rowley walked Obia. Not me who said, Rowley said it to kill your father. Brother, I don't know what it stands for, yes? But I do know that righteousness exalts a nation and sin is a reproach. Ladies and gentlemen, I continue to encourage you. It is 8 minutes to 3. But I see you. It is 8 minutes to 3. I want to thank you very much for tuning in, for viewing, for listening to me this afternoon. Again, remember the last week, Friday, we had closed up and I'd ask you all, if you know anybody with a wheelchair that is in good condition, I have somebody that is in dire need of a wheelchair. Please, anybody. And I want to say, well, you know, I've been out and about. I didn't do this in a while, but I had to really ask brothers and sisters amongst some family members who actually is in dire need. My member of parliament is doing his part. But you know, he had to rotate his giving, and people who get this week here can get, let me be real. So I'm saying, we have a responsibility to help out. So I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, the numbers is on the screen. If the Lord laid upon your heart, because you know 648 on the own, we need our support. We must keep the lights on. We must keep the phone line open. By asking for support for that today. Dealing with 6 different families with different issues, different problems, and a couple of them I personally know was working CPEP. And a couple of them is our supporters too. And they seriously reached out. And it's time that 648 helped ease the strain at the member of parliament. So brothers and sisters, those of you inside of Trinidad or outside of Trinidad, the Lord laid upon your heart, asking you to remember the words coming out of our mouth here. We head into our budget, brothers and sisters will head back out to work. But again, ladies and gentlemen, we had to help out in the cause. It's just stabilizing Trinidad and Tobago. We don't want this, although PNM is responsible for the majority of the corrupt activities, the position that we're in today, CPEP can continue to work because of the corrupt activities. URP can continue because of the corrupt activities. And I dare want somebody from PNM ask, what corrupt activities you're talking about, Irvin? So I would give a moment of silence for that. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, to my UNC family, I continue to send some love to you. Princeton, Sawa, Clarkson Bay, Rio Claro, Point Fortin, Edinburgh 500, whether you're down in Chagaramas, you're down in Sealots, you could be on the Beatum this afternoon. Blessed good afternoon to you. I continue to send some love to Shogunas East, Shogunas West, Edinburgh 500, Moruga Tableland. We're talking Diego Martin East, Diego Martin West. It's time all get proper representation. Local election is coming. All you have a responsibility to get the relevant persons and the relevant organization endorsing and backing, and on top of that, implementing relevant structures to remedy the shortcomings that you have been dealing with for decades under the PNM. So again, point 14, remember, when your councillor tell you they don't have money because of the member of parliament, Mr. Kiza, your responsibility is to remind them that the borough corporation falls under local government. So the mayor, point 14, have a responsibility to the people and all the communities in and out of point 14. That is as factual as you could get it. Ayo, and bless good day 007, Anthony. Big up yourself, Jess School. Everyone was up. Mr. Daniel, big up yourself. Sharon, everyone, Miss Pat. Oh God, you know it's nothing but love. Base. Bless good day, bless good day. We even had a little boy Pearl Sammy, just school trip to the roti shop. I mean, everyone who does be up, all your bless good afternoon, bless good afternoon, bless good afternoon. Ramki soon, big up yourself, big up yourself. Only let me stay focused and let me stay blessed. Remember the slogan here at 640 Television is each one help one. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and being a good person is not an option. Brothers and sisters, that is the only thing for us to do going forward. So again, don't let the morning break. Tomorrow morning would be the 23rd of September, and it would be Tuesday. So don't let the morning break, and you ain't tune into the ground report. Please don't miss the Douglas, because Mr. Arnold Roberts continue to bring the facts, and boy, it does hot them down to the core. But the truth must be spoken, ladies and gentlemen. I want to remind you, well, you know your boy Irvin, you know TC and Heavy is back on Real TV, ladies and gentlemen, between the hours of 7:30 and 9:30. Only remember, we boy Opinion Box continuing to fight. We boy Ravi Figaro. Brothers and sisters, only remember Real Talk between the hours of 2 and on. Between the hours of 12 and on, I should say. Because again, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing this thing so that we could keep informed. So to each and every one of you that continue to send love, continue to send prayers, continue to send endorsement to my whole UNC family, whether it's an Indian, whether it's an African, at the end of the day, when you look at our color, all are we yellow, and we standing with our government, we standing with our Prime Minister. Here in Point 14, we standing with Mr. Raymond Onesto Kiza. They could say what they want and talk what they want. We know Mr. Alexander is a former police officer, so we standing with Mr. Alexander. We standing with Mr. Sturge, Ms. Khadija Amin, oh God, every Minister of Finance. Ole, please, they cannot disrespect or even think about coming wrong, Mr. Lakram Budu. Well, boy, if they bongs their head with Ms. Vandana, they go hear from we. I'm telling all you, we in this, Mr. Clyde Ella continue to money post in Labre. Mr. Barry Padarat, brother, you continue to represent the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Saddam Hussein, a stonewall in this thing. Brothers and sisters, we in this together, and unity is strength, and strength is power. So to my UNC family, brothers and sisters, family and friends, once again, it's a boy Irvin, and it's nothing but love, it's nothing but respect. And again, until we meet tomorrow, please the Lord, I'm sending out some love to you, Trinidad and Tobago, and everybody outside of Trinidad and Tobago. Let me stay focused and let's stay blessed. And I am out. Love all you. Hey!
Can you hear a distant drum? Walking on the lap of a melody. And does the rhythm tell you come? Does your spirit do a dance to this simple